Hey, everybody.
What are you doing in my home office?
I guess.
Somebody called a Brady Bunch? What's going on?
I know, right? Just so many of us here.
Oh my.
Amazing.
I guess just Jason, obviously you are new here. So
Hi, everybody.
do you want to give us a very quick introduction to who you are and why you specifically are here with us, helping us out tonight?
Yeah, totally. So my name is Jason. I'm on Twitter at a handle called What Do You Do Pods, which is way too long, and I probably should have thought of something else back when I made it, but it was a good idea at the time. But I keep track of all of the Pathfinder, Starfinder, and Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play podcasts and streams that I can find. I put them all on a Google spreadsheet and try to let as many people as I know about, as many people as I can know about that, so that they can find their next favorite actual play production using one of Paizo's game systems. And so here I am tonight after having reached out and said to Ben and Katie, basically, hey, if y'all need any help learning a little bit about 2nd edition, I'd be happy to help. And what turned into from a 1-ish hour conversation about character building to about a 3-hour full-on introduction to the system, which was a lot of fun for me last week. And during that, I offered, if you would like to have someone help you with the beginner box for 2nd edition, I'd be happy to do that. And so here we are today with me at the helm, as it were, the GM's chair for that. So I'm very grateful for the chance to be here with you all this evening and doing that. Yeah.
Thank
we
you
in
so
turn
much.
We're really
are
grateful
incredibly
for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, you said
grateful
if you'd
and
like some
we're
help.
also sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
also
also
that.
Yeah, you're like, do you guys need help? We're like, please, God, yes. So, oh, God, we need so much help.
Yeah. Well, I commend all of you for diving right in, right? Like this is a system I've really been enjoying for the last few years. I got to be at Gen Con when it launched back in 2019. My last big thing basically that I did before the pandemic started. So it's great to continue getting to enjoy that and get to share it with new audiences, lots of places. So yeah, so tonight we're gonna do some beginner boxing of the 2nd edition. Anything else you'd like to cover before we get into maybe a little bit of nuts and bolts? It sounds like.
Yeah. I think if we can just very quickly pull up a character sheet and you can sort of go over what we have all gone over with you already behind the scenes, explaining what the different stats are, just like that basic like 101. Here's character creation in Pathfinder.
Sure, totally. We're going to do character creation in 5 minutes. No, it's maybe a little more than that, maybe a little less. We'll see. So 2nd edition of Pathfinder is going to be fairly familiar to those of you who are coming from 5th edition in a lot of respects, because there are things like ability scores, and those look familiar to that. There are skills that you use. Those are going to look familiar. There's perception checks that you can do. There's saving throws that you'll do. There's armor class. There's weapon strikes, all those different things. And how you put your character together to begin with is starting with something that Paizo very conveniently called the ABCs of character creation. You start by selecting an ancestry for your character. These are things like humans, dwarves, elves, gnomes, the whole gamut of options, including goblins in the core rulebook, which is a great addition to 2nd edition. We're very grateful for that. And then you'll select, after your ancestry, you select a background. What did your character do before they became an adventurer? Were they a barkeep? Were they a gambler? Were they a criminal? What were they doing? Were they a baker before they came in? I mean, lots of different options there. And then third, you select your class, your character class. Fighters, rogues, wizards, clerics. Lots of fairly standard fantasy ideas behind those are present. And so you'd select one of those, and then within that class, you pick a specialization. What is it that your character, as that character class, does better than others who are of similar classes or similar appearances? So those are the 3 things that are kind of the fundamentals of how you start building out who your character is going to be. And then from there, Pathfinder 2nd edition uses a system of feats. And at each level of character creation, you select a feat that further defines your character, whether that's an ancestry feat based on their heritage, who they grew up as, whether that's a skill feat, something that they learned along the way based on the training that they have and the skills that they have, or whether it's a class feat that, again, further deeper defines how they are, their particular way of being a fighter, a rogue, a wizard, a cleric, or whatever character class that they are. So those are some of the main quick highlights there. You'll see a couple things that are different. Saving throws are fortitude, reflex, and will. How tough you are, how quick you are, and how strongly willpowered you are against the resisting effects that might like to cause you problems. How we figure out what the numbers are in each of these skills, saving throws, perception, defenses, and attacks are all going to be based on the proficiency system within second edition. You're either untrained at something, which is what most first level characters are at most things, but then you pick some things to become trained in, or maybe even an expert in. And then later on in your adventuring career, you become a master or even legendary at certain skills that you pull off. So some characters at first level already start as experts at things. Like, for example, rogues are really quick on their feet, and so they start as experts at reflex saves. So they're really good at getting out of the way of fireballs, for example. Or you'd say fighters are experts at attack rolls because they know how to hit people with weapons, and they do a really good job of it. So that's a great thing that they can do. Things are pretty well balanced in second edition. We'll see that here in some of our play as we go forward, and we'll talk a little bit more about things as they come up. Now, the last thing that if you're watching this, and you've been online much to see some of the news of the last couple of weeks and looked into second edition at all, you'll see there on the left, there are some icons underneath the word actions. And there's 1 action, 2 action, 3 actions, and reactions. And that's how things work in combat in second edition. When it comes up to be your turn, it's not that you have to do an action that fits into the category of a standard action, or fits into a move action, or fits into a minor action. You just have 3 actions, and you can take 3 moves. You could do 3 attacks. You could do 3 basket weavings, I guess, if you're fast enough at them, right? So this is something that we'll be playing with and exploring as we play tonight as well. So yeah, that's my quick introduction. I don't know if I did it in 5 minutes or not, but yeah.
Amazing introduction. We did have a question in chat, which is, what are wizards experts at? And I don't think the answer is anything, but I will leave that to you.
Yeah, so wizard is going to start off definitely expert at will saves because they are particularly good at mental defenses that they have against things. But that's it for wizards. Yeah, they are trained in pretty much everything else. But they also make up for that by having a whole lot of spell casting flexibility. So they've got a whole lot of stuff to kind of see what's going on.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else has any questions, I think I'm definitely ready to jump into this beginner box. And I know for a damn fact that we are all going to have tons of questions as we play through.
Oh, I'm an old hand at this game. It's going to be fine.
Ready to get...
What die do I use?
I'm going to pull up... Oh, it's going to crop it out, but I've got my GM screen here to hide behind some as well. So yeah, and it's got... very handy. It got all the answers on the back as well, so I can just, when it looks like I really know what I'm doing, chances are pretty good I'm just looking down over here at this. So there you go. All right.
I definitely really know my character sheet very well.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah.
You got this.
We'll continue exploring the character sheet as we go. Yeah. So let's see. Our tale this evening begins, right? Should we?
Yeah.
Away we go. Away we go. This evening begins in the small fishing town called Otari. This is a town that is on the Isle of Kortos, which is an island in the middle of this sea that exists between 2 large continents. And on that same island is the city of Absalom, the city at the center of the world. Well, we're not in Absalom. We're in Otari. We're in this smaller town out on the coast, a logging town. If you're those of us who are looking at the Foundry sheet or screen right now see a log flume and ships at a dock and a temple off to the side and an eerie looking lighthouse back in the background that is the subject of a whole other adventure path that you can find yourselves looking into at some point later. But it's not in the log flume or the temple or the lighthouse that we start today. We are actually on the creaky stairs that lead down underneath the Otari fishery to a damp, crate-filled storage area that reeks of old fish and salt water. You're here at the invitation of the fishery's owner. Her name is Tamily Tandervale. She has posted a plea for help, and she's so glad that you, brave souls, have arrived to put a stop to whatever beast is eating her stores of fish. And she's offered each of you a reward of 10 gold pieces if you put a stop to her losses. Now, who are these brave souls that we see here this evening? And that is where the first chance for you all to come up and introduce your characters. I think Ben. Yes. Actually, right now, keep it on faces so people can match up who's talking about which character, maybe. Let's do that. And if I'm just gonna, I shared a bit on the screen for each of the characters to go by to share about a little about their character. So I'm gonna start the way I'm looking over here. Zach, if you're doing tech, I won't ask you to go first.
No, I can go. I'm good.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So I am playing a chaotic good elf named Jarvis. He's an elf. And I'm playing as a druid, a woodland elf druid. And I don't know, Game Master, is there any, what else should I kind of dive into? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, why don't you say, that's the Foundry music. Should I turn that down? My apologies for that.
That's okay.
Let me just...
It's very intense.
I was like, oh
Sorry
my.
about that, everybody. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. Okay, if it does it again, let me know. We'll try keeping the global volume controls, but whoever's sharing that into the screen might have to turn those down on their end too. Okay, sorry about that. Startling.
All right.
Apologies.
No
So yeah, Zach, you said you're a woodland elf who is a druid. What is your background for your character?
So my background, if I was going to kind of look at that, would be kind of an occult librarian.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
But like actually, like how
really
cool
weird
is
speech.
that? I would
Yeah.
have never thought of something cool like that. So like I really was coming at it with a wisdom based kind of book learned magic user.
Awesome. Great. All right, Ben, I'll have you go next. I'll go clockwise around.
Where is that coming from?
It's coming from Foundry. Yeah, it's built in.
Oh
so
my
this
God.
is those of you if you haven't seen, you can purchase for a very reasonable amount all of the beginner box set up in Foundry for you, and it comes with ambient music and sound effects and lighting and all these other things already set up. So we're going to be utilizing that tonight. But if it gets super
feel like I'm in the
distracting,
beginning of a horror movie.
I do too.
Oh, good.
Deeds Done in Darkness is the name of this track.
Yeah, exactly. Ben, if you could go ahead and share about your character.
Absolutely. I am playing Benji Bouldermane. I clearly did not try too hard on the first name. I am playing an elemental heart dwarf, which I thought was a very interesting take on this. So for those who aren't familiar, that means that once per day I can explode essentially with an element and do a d6 of damage to essentially everyone around me, or the enemies around me. And I have chosen to go with acid. How we flavor that remains to be seen. I think I'm leaning towards just really bad BO, and I'm just kind of like lift my arms up and everyone gets hit. My background is a bounty hunter. and I am a fighter. I am playing actually with a specific feat that I learned about thanks to Jason, which is typically assigned to a class of knights or an order of knights. And so to sort of like keep in line with that, I think the sort of bounty hunter background is that they are sworn to hunt down and destroy undead. And so, you know, sort of in keeping with that, I kind of look at this as sort of an undead bounty hunter, not necessarily for corn, neither, I guess. You know, I don't know. But more along the lines of, you know, after sort of the fall of our, you know, our city, you know, more hunting them down as a matter of honor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And can you make up on the spot?
Sure.
I'm going to put pressure on everyone to do this, and Zach, you get to do this at the end about the person who goes last.
Okay.
Make up one thing you know about Jarvis and how you two know each other. Jarvis. He's an elf.
He's an elf. Oh gosh, I know. You know, Jarvis and I go way back. We met. You know, I think as sort of an older dwarf, I think that a lot of the, you know, the sort of weird, you know, like dwarf elf stuff, I've kind of like let that fall over the years, and I think Jarvis is probably one of my oldest elven friends. You know, I've been sort of wandering around, you know, doing my bounty hunter thing for a while, and he and I met on the road at one point, and we linked up for a while, and I think that we just enjoyed one another's company.
Awesome. Yeah. That's great. All right. Thanks, Ben. Alex, can I ask you to go next, and we'll kind of W shape it here.
Yes. Yeah. Hi. So I am playing Rydrick, if you like, who is a Fey gnome sorcerer. So I guess he draws his inherent power from his Fey bloodline. And he sort of grew up a bit of a charlatan. He's a master of trickery. He's sort of just been skulking around the underworlds of the towns he's in, just trying to get by and have a few drinks and enjoy. Trying to think anything else about him, or should I talk about how I know Benji?
Tell me about how you know Benji. Yeah.
Okay, Benji. I think we were in a tavern, and Benji sort of ended up in a bit of a scuffle that was a bit overwhelming for him. And I think I hit him with some Fey glamours and snuck him out the back. And we had some time to connect over a drink in the basement. And we've been friends ever since.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Rachel, I'll have you go next.
My name is Destry Ross, and I'm a human rogue.
Nice. Awesome. Which background would you pick for your human rogue?
Destry used to gamble. Maybe still does. Probably still does. Wherever he can get away with it still, probably. He's pretty chill. Pretty super neutral. Has seen too many beings pray to a god for luck that did not give them luck. He's like, nah, these gods, I don't cotton to them at all. Yeah. He's a guy. RP and a guy today.
There we go. Awesome. And what's one way that Destry would know Rydrick, Alex's character?
I mean, I don't want to assume, but Rydrick, do you gamble?
Just a little bit.
I'm sure we've crossed paths at a table or two.
Yeah. All right. Ryan, if you'd like to go next with your character.
Yeah, so today I am playing Charlotte, who is also a human rogue. She, however, is a criminal. And I can only imagine that the only way that Destry and I know each other, and maybe possibly Rydrick, is that I have definitely picked both their pockets while they're gambling.
I couldn't even be mad.
It's just so well done, right? Like, how can you be angry at that? Awesome. All right. Omar, if you'd like to go next.
So, if you want to know who I am, I'm Fumbus, the Goblin. Not just any goblin that you find on the streets. I'm an alchemist. That means I like to put little explosive things together and little tiny mechanical metal things and watch them go boom! It's awesome. I'm a Sharhai goblin. Don't get me mixed up with all those other ones. You know, I have a connection to fire, have the thicker skin and all that. And also, I'm a Pathfinder hopeful from my background. I want to go out there and see all the good sights and find all the weird things that can come blob and get together and just explode. It's amazing. Oh, but I do know Charlotte, because, you know, she probably came and wanted to get some explodies for her adventures and all that, and I like to make practical jokes on people. So, but that's a little bit about me. Let's get this started.
Amazing. Thank you, Omar. That was great. All right. Katie, you can go next. Yeah.
I'm Lonely Pridane. I'm an elf. I'm a desert elf, actually. And I'm a seer. And I've really just been following my visions, and I did see Fumbus in one of my visions several weeks back, and I don't know why, but I think I'm supposed to be with him. So that's kind of who I am and why I'm here. What else was I supposed to say about myself? I've already forgotten.
Oh, that's great. Ancestry, background, and class.
Yeah,
those are the big ones. Yeah.
And that's who
great.
I am.
Awesome. And Zach, how would Jarvis know Island Weave?
I would know Elenwy because in my occult studies that I've been whittling away at for the past 50 years, between going out with Benji, Elenwy would be our assistant at times.
I'm very good at assisting.
Yes, and you seem to be touched with some of the more magical rights about you, which comes in handy with all of our occult studies.
I also definitely didn't say, but I'm a wizard. I left that out, I'm pretty sure.
All good. All good. All right. Well, with our party so formed, you proceed on your first quest together as a group. Now, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is very much a game about teamwork. You'll all be working together to help overcome the obstacles in front of you, like so many other tabletop role-playing games. One of the first ones that we're going to overcome here together is the order in which you all are kind of going about and doing things. So obviously we have a large gaming group this evening. I was remembering when as we were getting ready for this, facing my table of 7 players when I was running the Kingmaker Adventure Path several years ago. And none of them wanted to actually be the sole ruler of that kingdom. So going to try and avoid that a little bit and maybe just very pointedly ask some of you direct questions about what you do here. So as you look ahead, you'll see in the center of this room here, there are some stone pillars that are holding up the fishery's main floor overhead. And there's barrels of salted fish stacked between them. But 2 of these barrels look like they've been smashed open. Some of the contents, little fish bits of various kinds, have spilled out onto the ancient pavers of this basement. And you also, maybe perhaps more concerningly to your eyes, is a large hole in the eastern wall. So at this point in our adventure, we'll utilize something that 2nd Edition calls exploration mode, which is just a fancy way of saying, how are all of you going to interact with this space to kind of investigate and see what's going to happen here for you? What do you do to look around? So I'm going to go through that same order of characters, and you can just quickly describe to me how you're initially interacting here. So, Jarvis, what would you be doing first in this space?
Well, I believe we should be checking for some kind of mystical signs and/or magical auras that may be left over from whatever might be fouling this place. Almost as much as the smell of that fish.
Excellent. And if you want to place yourself somewhere in this room, obviously there's stairs there, but you can move yourself around wherever you would like. Benji, where would you be going here in this space?
Well, I am not really much for searching for things. I don't tend to do all that well, but I do think that I am trying to keep an eye out just in case something sneaks up on us. I like to make sure that I keep an eye on everyone. I think I'm going to come over here to the center, as folks can see. And I can't collide with the wall. All right, fair enough. Just move sort of a central area, keep an eye on everyone, especially have line of sight down that tunnel in case something comes through.
Totally. Yeah. Rydrick, what would you be doing here?
Well, I think we've got enough feet on the ground and enough eyes on the barrels, so I'm just gonna loiter over here in this corner. Let me know if there's a wall there.
There is.
Where can I
yes.
go? So I
You can
guess where can I go? Let's see.
Where
We're going
can
left
I go?
first. Yeah. So this is one of the things about how Foundry is built. There are walls in place to kind of help guide characters to where they can or cannot be moving. Do you have the ruler selected instead of selecting your character to move around by
Ruler.
chance?
No. There we go.
Okay.
So
You've got that one.
go up the stairs, down the
Yeah.
stairs.
Yep. And all the way around. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go later over here where it's bright and I can see things.
Sure. Yep. There's a flickering lamp that is down there. Yeah.
Right. Everybody get to work.
Yeah. Excellent. Destry, how would you be interacting here?
Destry is going to maneuver over to the barrels, have a seat, and light a pipe.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Wherever you want to put yourself in one of those adjacent spaces next to the barrels would be fine. You might have to go up first and then over.
Whee!
The
And
audience has seen it when we were all moving at the same time, crossing the screen. It was fantastic. Yeah, just a little, put a beat to it, and we'd be in a club. All right.
Destry does not say "we" when he walks. He's a cool guy. I
to
said
know.
"we."
Yeah.
Thought about making it.
Destry's too cool for we.
Destry's too cool for "we," and I'm sad about it now. Honestly.
Yeah.
More of a PlayStation guy than a Wii guy.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Charlotte, what would you be doing here? Yeah.
I am going to head up this direction if I can navigate without hitting any walls. And I think I'm going to come check out whatever's on these shelves over here, these tables and benches.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Fumbus, where would you be going? Yeah.
Fumbus is gonna. I think I'm gonna check out that strange liquid over there that spilled out of these barrels. Let me just see if what it's made out of. Maybe I'll find some tracks or something.
Yeah.
Move over. Move here and then move up.
Totally. All right. And Ellenwee, where would you be headed?
Well, something foul is for sure afoot. I think that. Actually, I have a question. So I have oddity identification +2 circumstance bonus to occultism checks to identify magic with the mental possession, prediction, or scrying traits. So I definitely want to be doing some sort of magic check. I don't know if that would help with that.
Totally. Yeah. So we will get to exactly what everyone will be rolling here in a moment. But yeah, in that case, I would say is what this would kind of be like is if your character was just using their connection to their magical tradition to make some observations about what they can perceive and sense mystically about the room. So in that case, it would be something like an occultism check within the skills that you have.
Cool.
And so
I'm getting run into walls all over the place.
Yeah.
Where do I go? Where do I go?
That's fine. Got to go left, straight down the stairs to the left. Yeah, Foundry, you've walled everyone in. Here we go. What if someone...
Oh, there I am. Okay. Whew. All
Okay.
good.
All right. Oh, this is great. This is great. So, let's see here. Just one thing. Don't mind me at all as I maneuver and click and do things like that. As each of you move around the space, wow, we have a trap finder. Excellent. In the room.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. One of the great things.
I'm exploring what we can do. I didn't realize it's absolutely in the open.
No, that's great. Yeah, absolutely great. I really appreciate this virtual tabletop for letting us just have a sense of being able to click on an ability and learn immediately a whole bunch of stuff about it so that we're ready to go with that information right away. So as we do that, let's see here. Benji, you're now the one that is closest to the hole in the wall. So you hear this first. It's a chittering kind of a sound that comes from the darkness beyond. And suddenly, a massive rat, the size of a dog, comes rushing through the hole into the space to stand next to you. And it isn't alone. And with massive teeth snapping, these rats are ready for their next meal of the day, which is going to be all of you. And so here we will be rolling for initiative for our characters for this evening as I reveal, I hope, where these rats are. Benji, you're surrounded. This is going to be a great time. So here's what we're going to do for initiative. So in other games, and in the previous edition of Pathfinder, you would have a static ability called initiative, and you would roll that at the start of a combat. In second edition, we'll actually be using either perception or a skill that you're particularly good at. So like you were saying, Jarvis was saying, and Ellen, we were saying, that they were actually trying to perceive some of the mystical energies in the room. So Jarvis, you could use an Arcana check to be your initiative roll. Ellen, you could maybe use that occultism check.
Occultism.
That
That's very cool. I didn't know that.
If the rest of you were doing various kinds of searches, you could use perception for your initiative roll. And Omar, you were trying to discern something about the liquids coming out of the barrels. That could be a crafting check.
Oh, cool.
You're trying to investigate and see what this stuff is actually made of. Spoiler alert, it's mostly just fish, water. But, you know, it's good. It's good that now that you know that that's the case. So I'm going to add everyone to our combat tracker here. And
Oh, I didn't add my there we go. Maybe?
Let's see here. Okay.
There we go.
So we will go ahead and we'll fix all the scores that are here in a second. But when you go, let's see here. I'll go down the list and I'm just going to ask everyone in that order to tell me what it is that you got for your initiative check, and we'll go from there. So let's see. Jarvis, am I seeing a 9 correct for you there?
That is correct.
Okay, awesome. Benji, what did you get for yours?
We got a 22.
2 for you, okay. And let's see, after Benji, Rydrick, what would you be getting?
Like 18.
18 for Rydrick. Destry, you got?
How do I set the skill on Foundry?
Sure. So let's do this. If you open the character sheet for your character, I'll look at that with you. You look over on the left side in that column on the left, about halfway down it says initiative. And you'll see the word perception with a drop-down arrow there. So if you click on that drop-down arrow, you can select another skill if you were trying to do something else. But for this, you're mostly using perception. Destry was kind of looking around and keeping an eye on the space.
Cool.
So, yeah. All right. There we go. All right. What did Destry get for their... Oh, there it goes. Okay. And Jestri's on an 11. Charlotte is on a
9. Once I figured
9.
out what I was actually doing. 9.
Sure. Nope, it's all good. Fumbus, you've got a
25.
25. Excellent. And Elenwee,
When I figured out what I was doing, I got a 21.
21. Okay, excellent. All right. So we're going to go there. Fumbus is going to be at the start of the initiative order. You've got the first action here. You've got, I'm going to say a couple things and then I'll turn you loose. At the start of your turn in combat, you get to use 3, you'll be able to get to use 3 actions on your turn. You also have 1 reaction that you can use. And reactions usually state that they have a specific trigger, something that activates them. And when that happens, you can pull off something else. So like if you have your shield up and something attacks you and it hits you, you can actually have the shield absorb some of the blow of that hit by using your reaction. If you're a fighter like Benji is, if somebody tries to move past your space without stepping carefully, you can take an attack of opportunity at them. But again, different from other games, some of you may have heard this, Pathfinder 2nd Edition does not actually have attacks of opportunity for everyone. One of the benefits here is that it really frees up combat space when things are happening on a grid or however you want to be running your game, whether that's Theater of the Mind or on something like Foundry here. So it's a lot easier to just be moving around without having to be feeling like you have to be stuck in one spot on the map. One other thing that everyone has is called a hero point. A hero point is a resource that each of you get 1 of at the beginning of the session. And at the Katie, I see your question, and I'm gonna answer that in a second. Okay, a hero point can be spent 2 ways, basically. The first way is to say, if you roll a d20 roll and you don't like the number that comes up, you can tell me, Jason, I'm turning in my hero point so that I can re-roll this. And I'll say, great, go for it. But you have to take the second roll that you make. So if you roll a 2 thinking it can't get much worse, and you get a 1, the answer is yes, it can get much worse. Okay. But if you roll a 1 and you know, well, it really can't get any worse, and then you turn around and you roll a 20, what a wonderful turnaround that would be. So that's one thing you can do with a hero point. The second thing is that you can stop dying by spending all of the hero points you have. And I say all of the hero points because you can have up to 3 of them. I'll be giving them out for particularly heroic actions that your characters do. And it's ideally you give out about 1 an hour in the game to the party. But I might give you all a little bit more because we're here to have fun, not to be totally stymied by things. So with all of that said, Omar, Fumbus is up first. What would you like to do for your 3 actions?
So where are these creatures, or are we aware of them?
Sure, I am hopeful that you can see them. They are, there are 5 rats just over here next to Benji. Benji, can you see them there?
I can indeed.
Okay, great.
I just realized you named your character Benji and your name is Ben. I that was completely lost on me until right this very second.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine.
I mean, it's Benjamin adjacent, but I have almost never been called Benji, so it doesn't feel like it's my name, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Here, I'm going to change one setting on here. Hopefully, you'll all be able to see these here soon. But Omar, can you see them now where they are?
Yes, I can.
Great.
Oh boy. Oh, it's a lot of specimens to blow up. I definitely think that Fumbus will. So I have an action called Quick Bomber, which will allow me to quickly whip out a bomb from my pouch and then use a strike action and then immediately strike with it.
Yeah, that's right. And it's 1 action. That is a special thing by being a bomber alchemist. Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of want to just go and just pop a cork and hurry up and throw like gunpowder into a ball, and it goes says "Fire in the hole!" And I would like to just throw a bomb at.
Sure.
Is that an AOE or is that just 1 target?
So bombs do have a single target that they go after. You target their armor class, but then most bombs are going to have a splash effect. to it. So that if you hit them, so you've got a couple of kinds of bombs in your inventory right now. Which one would you be pulling out, the acid or the fire, or the alchemist fire?
I want to see him burn. To the fire one.
All right. So you pop out an alchemist's fire, and you can target any one of these rats that's here. One of the let's see here. If you want to now, because you are a bomber alchemist again, you have a choice that you can make. You can either have the splash damage hit like normal, or you can have everything just target the one enemy that you're aiming at. So say if you really didn't want to hit Benji with some alchemist's fire, you could avoid it. But if you really wanted to make sure you also got those other rats that are nearby, you could just tell Benji he's get ready for it, right? You know, give him a little heads up.
I'll concentrate. That's a hesitation that Fumbus has, but seeing Benji standing there, just like, just duck, and I'll focus all of it on, I guess, the evil giant rat in front of me.
The evil giant rat in front of you. Awesome. Okay, great. So first attack roll of the evening, the first strike that we'll be making here. You can go ahead and roll that strike.
Okay, so it is. Did it roll? No, it's not. Let me try it again.
Sure, no problem.
So how would I go ahead and activate that? I'm in my inventory and see the alchemist fire.
Yeah. Let's actually go over from inventory to the actions tab.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yep. And so what you want to do is hit the draw action there next to the bomb that you want to toss.
Got it.
And then hit strike on that.
Train draw. Let me try it again.
Sure.
Draw, and then hit strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
The strike +6 is the one you want to be throwing.
Got it. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Ooh, it's just a 10.
Just a 10. All right. Maybe in your nervousness of not wanting to hit Benji, your aim was slightly off, but that's okay. Because even on a miss with an alchemist's fire, you will still do splash damage to the target that you were trying to hit. If you had critically failed on your attack roll, like you had totally just wildly missed, then it would have missed your target completely. But instead, it would still get a little bit of splash damage. So go ahead and hit the damage button that you're seeing there in your actions tab. And from there, we will. Okay. All right. So the evil giant rat is going to take 1 point of splash damage. Oops. Sorry. Not that one. The other one. Where's the... All right. Okay. Well, I'll figure that out in a second. Okay. All right. And so then that was your first action. You've got 2 more actions remaining. What would you want to do, Fumbus? You're right there next to these giant slaving rats. Yeah.
How many of these bombs do I have?
So you've got 5 more alchemist's fires and 3 acid flasks.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I would like to. I'll give it another try. I'll take the attack action again to, or that feat action. I mean, again.
You totally can. Can I give you just a hint about that before you do it, just so that you know? When you make more than 1 attack in 2nd edition, at your 2nd or 3rd action, your accuracy goes down. This is something called the multiple attack penalty. So instead of rolling your full +6 to hit these rats, you'd actually be rolling +6 and then -5 to that throw. So it'd be more like rolling a +1. You totally can do it, but just so that you know, your accuracy goes down somewhat.
Okay, I'm going to hope for the best, and I'll try. I'll take that -5 penalty and try one more time.
Sure. So you can click that one that says map -5 next to alchemist fire.
Got it. And then I will roll. A 13.
13. Okay, once again, a 13 just misses.
Ah.
So the fire explodes around it and singes it terribly, but it still stands there. Okay.
Okay.
You have one action remaining. You could stand your ground there, or if you'd like to back away so the rats go after somebody else and between you and them, that totally an option as well.
Yeah, totally. Because I'm an alchemist. I'm not some tank. So if I can, and you said I don't get any attacks opportunity, or how would that work?
Typically not. It depends on the enemy. You can probably guess pretty freely that rats are not likely to be able to do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I would like to move through my allies here, and the like part of me just gonna get out the way and just kind of walk back to the back.
Sure.
To the back.
Get out of the way. Just kind of saunter a back step. Yeah. Okay.
There's rats over there. Warning you. They're crafty. They're hard to blow up. They don't explode.
Excellent. All right. So with that, ended the first turn here. Now, Benji is going to see that one of these rats right next to him is going to launch straight in with and attempt to bring you down to the ground. So maybe they can try and trip you, and all these other rats can jump on you as well. But we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to roll an athletics check against you to see if I can trip you down to the ground. And I roll it this way. Oh my goodness. What a great start for all of you. The GM rolls a natural 1 to start the day. This is like straight out of my standard textbook for my GM rolling. So this is just excellent.
I empathize so deeply with that.
So with a trip, unfortunately, when you critically fail at a trip, which is what a natural 1 will do in this case, the rat actually loses its balance and falls prone itself. So it is now on the ground. It's not happy about that. So it's going to use its second action to kind of right itself back up on all 4 legs again. And it's going to just try and snap its jaws at you here. Oh, wow. It's going to be that kind of night, huh, Laundry? Okay, 2 natural 1s. Okay. Yikes. Well, exactly. All right. Well, Benji, it is now your turn. You can retaliate if you would like. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, love to use my reaction first and foremost. And I know I could do more damage with my shield, but I think I just want to insult it by punching it directly in the nose.
Okay.
With an unarmed strike.
Okay.
So let's see here.
Yeah.
Pull the chat out so you guys can see the rolls. Unarmed strike. Roll that. Come on. Oh, that was dangerously close.
All right. A 16. Which one of these rats are you trying to hit? The one that Fumbus has already burned a little bit, or one of the other ones?
The one that just tried to attack me. So this would be. Can I use this as my reaction before I actually begin my turn? Like as it attacks me.
That would be so an attack is not a trigger for a reaction.
Interesting. Oh, because it's an attack of opportunity, not a. Gotcha. I understand. I forgot. All right. In that case, I have a totally different plan.
Though actually, you could have used your attack of opportunity. Oh wait, no, you hadn't had your turn yet, so you didn't have your reaction. So here we go. We've got 3 actions. Would you like to save that, just carry that roll over to be a strike against one of your enemies, or would you like to do something else first?
I'm going to do something completely different.
Go for it.
All right. So I've got a question now about moving through an occupied space.
Sure.
If I wanted to move into like the hallway here, is that a thing that I can do, or is that a contested athletics roll? How does this work?
Yeah, so it's certainly something that you can attempt, but it would be an acrobatics roll instead of an athletics roll.
I am not particularly acrobatic. I guess I'll just stay here. That feels like a safer option.
Okay. With athletics, you could do something like shove your enemy. Like if you wanted to try and push him back into the hallway, you could do that.
No, you know what? What we're gonna do here? See skills. Where is this inventory? I'm just gonna blow my whole load right here. Just lift the arms up all over these little rats.
Okay.
Breathe it in, you bastards, you rat bastards, and emanate energy, acid energy.
Okay, start right at the beginning of the day. All right.
Yeah.
And once per day we'll do that. So this is a, let's see, this is a burst that goes out to all adjacent creatures. So
Yep.
even Jarvis is going to
Sorry,
feel
Jarvis.
a little bit of this.
He's probably used to this at this point, honestly.
Great.
Just
Here
plug
we
your
go again,
nose.
you might be thinking, right? So I need to have each of my rats roll a basic reflex save. And Jarvis, I'll need you to roll one as well. So here we go.
Oh,
Oh,
that you
wow.
draw this?
I
The nat
did
ones are just
another
nat oneing tonight.
Natural one in a row. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Hey,
What
all
is
right.
up with these rolls?
Okay.
Woof.
So to quickly sum up for the audience, of my rats, I had 1 success, 2 failures, and 1 critical failure. That means my rat that succeeded takes half damage, my failures take full damage, and my critical failure takes double damage from this effect. Jarvis, unfortunately, your 11 is also a failure, so you'll take full damage from Benji's acid emanation here.
Sorry, Jarvie.
You smell so bad.
I apologize. 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay, great.
Oof.
All right. Let's see. So here we go. 5 damage. Let's see. 5 there. Oops. All right. Benji, with that, you've got 1 action remaining.
You do indeed. I guess I might as well just pop one of these suckers in the face with my shield. This now to be sure that I understand. The action of energy emanation is not an attack, therefore a following attack would not be subject to the penalty. That is correct?
That is correct.
So
Yes.
does AoE sort of circumvent that penalty? Okay, that's very interesting and really good to know.
Yeah, attacks usually target a specific thing, one specific thing, unless
Cool.
the ability says otherwise. Yeah.
Very cool.
So for that rat that critically failed their reflex save against this, they are dissolved by the acid emanation that splashes out here. Yeah.
Is that the one that had attempted to trip me?
No, it was a different one.
All right,
unfortunately.
fair enough. That's okay. All right. I think I'm gonna take the ever stance, my signature move in battle.
Sounds good. All right. So
Yep.
entering into a stance is its own action, right? Like you're
Yes.
you're setting yourself up to be ready for this. Yeah.
I am
So you've
I am
got
the wall. I'm the immovable object.
You're the immovable object. All right. Sounds great. Ellen Wee, excuse me. You're up next.
Hi. Right. Well,
Actually, before I start, I have a question.
Sure.
Question 1. So I have my wizard spells, I have my innate spells, and then I have a focus spell. And it says
Yeah.
focus points 1 out of 1. What is
Yes.
the difference between my wizard spell and my focus spell?
Sure. So a focus spell for a wizard is something that's granted by their school or tradition that they studied in. It's something that they
Okay.
know how to do. A focus spell is something that you can use, and then with 10 minutes of meditation, or if you're a cleric, you would pray, or if you're a wizard, you might just read over your spell book again. You can get back the focus point that you spent to cast that spell. So imagine it's like a once an encounter ability that you have.
Interesting. Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's really useful.
As opposed to a spell slot, which would be a once a day
Yes.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
versus a cantrip, which would be at will. You can use those as much as you want.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to tell you what I want to do, and then you're probably going to tell me why I can't do it.
first things first. I extend my hand, and a shock of lightning emanates from it, and it bounces from one of the rats to the next.
Sure.
And that's the electric arc. That is a reflex saving throw.
It is.
And does that count as an attack?
No, it does not, because you're calling for a reflex save. Yes.
Wonderful. Yes, perfect. So yes, I'll take the saving throw first.
Sure, definitely. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let me. I'm just gonna put this over here so folks, if they're looking at the chat, can see it. And can you tell me which 2 rats you would like to target? The ones that are right there in front of the hole, or 2 different ones?
Could I do, let's see, how far is this? What's its, I don't see, range 30 feet. I would actually like to hit the 2 that like are further back. That would be harder for the melee people to hit.
Sure, so up top
Yeah.
and at the bottom of the list? Okay, totally. All right. I'll have that one roll. And then I'll have that one roll. So I got 1, it's a 17.
That
If
just saves. Fuck.
It just succeeds, and an 18 also just succeeds.
Well,
So go ahead and roll damage, and they will each take half damage from this. Yeah.
right. Okay. So that's going to be roll.
That's going to be 6 points of damage each.
6 points of damage. Okay, great. So in half of 6 is 3, which turns one of those rats into a very crispy rat. The one up the top. So.
Delicious. Let's see. Next things next. Now that I know that wasn't an attack, that changes things quite a bit. I suppose that. How far is this? What's the range? The reach? How many feet am I from the closest rat?
15 feet.
15 feet. I don't really want to go any closer. So in that case, I am going to pull out my I have a weapon. I'm going to pull out my staff and throw it deftly at the further rat that I not the fried one, the other one. And I am going to use my Hand of the Apprentice. And that's going to be an attack roll from me.
Sure.
And it says, sorry, I'm just like reading all of the everything here right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Make an attack roll with my melee weapon. Do I use the modifier? What modifier do I use if I'm using my
Sure.
focus spell?
Yeah. So it's a little different when you use something like this particular spell because here we'll just pull the attack roll up there. You would be making a spell attack roll instead of a physical attack roll. So you'd roll d20. You'd add 3 for your level and proficiency because you're level 1 and you're trained, and then you would add your intelligence modifier to that.
Okay, plus 4.
Instead of
so plus
dexterity.
7. Okay, perfect.
So plus 7. Yep.
All right.
Now,
so that's going to be 17.
Okay, 17. And you were, I was just one other item I was just going to share. This second one, the one on the 4th in the list that for the south that you had targeted before is a little bit behind that other pillar. So it's got a little bit of cover, and that might normally get in the way. But you're a very skilled wizard. You still, even with that cover in between you and it, still able to beat its armor class. And so you can roll damage for your attack.
Right.
Well done.
Okay, so what the
fuck is my damage?
Sure.
It says 1d4, but it's saying to use my spell, to use my not the damage of the staff, to use the damage of but adding your spellcasting ability modifier to damage rather than your strength modifier.
Right. So this would be a d4 plus 4 for your intelligence modifier. Yep.
Okay. Lovely.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1d4.
Yeah.
Roll. That's going to be 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage is enough to crush that rat with the impact from your staff.
Oh,
So,
lovely,
stay tuned.
lovely. Oh, that's perfect. I think electric arc is 2 actions. Am I
That's correct.
misunderstanding?
It
Okay,
is.
all right.
Yep.
Well, in that case, I suppose I can't do anything else. So that's my turn.
Yep. You'll be right there. Okay, great.
But I
The
did
next
kill
up,
2 of them, correct?
you did. You took out 2 of their rats. Yes,
Oh,
very much so.
perfect.
All right. So I have a tedious rat here who is, as the name auto-populated for me in Foundry, who's going to snap its jaws at Benji here. It's going to roll and slightly better. Oh, but I just miss. I get a 16 on my attack. Benji's got a 17. And it's not a very smart rat, so it's just going to keep trying to nip away and manages to make it. Gets just a little bit of your ankle with a 21 to attack. And so here comes...
Even a shield block doesn't do anything.
Yeah, unfortunately. So you take 3 points of damage from that from that little bite there. And then it tries once more, but completely misses you on the 3rd attack. Rydrick would be up next.
All right. Well, I can't see anything, so I'd like to run over to the wall over here, if I can. That's an action.
That would be 1 action. Yes, a stride, we would call that.
Great. Here I am. Okay, 2 rats. Let's barbecue them. I'll do burning hands. And I think because this pillar is here, Benji's not going to get hit, right?
That is correct. Benji, well...
It's
I'll
fine.
say
Don't
Benji-
worry about me.
I
Would
mean,
have
if you get it, you
cover.
deserve it for the acid. It's karma.
You weren't there.
Benji, I would say you'd have a +1 to your reflex save.
All right.
Against this. Yep.
Okay, so...
Okay. Burning hands. All right. So you make a gout of flames rushes out, overwhelming these rats. Let's see how well they do getting away from this damage. Let's see. Benji, it looks like Benji succeeds. My first rat succeeds, and my second rat also succeeds. So they'll be taking half damage. So if you want to click that damage button that's there in the chat, it'll roll 2d6 fire damage against these creatures. Whoa. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And
Even when I miss, I don't miss.
yeah. All right. One of them instantly crisps. Benji takes a bit of damage, 5 points of damage there as well. But let's see, with the stride across and with the casting of the spell, that would be all 3 actions for Ryder at this time.
Okay.
All right. Destry, you are up next. What would you do?
Yes, I'm gonna just hop off the barrel, put my pipe away, and I'm gonna throw a dagger at the last rat.
Awesome. All right.
I really had hoped that everybody would have cleaned this up, but I'll do my part. I'll do my part. How to throw a dagger, please and thank you.
Yeah. So if you pull up your character sheet and go to actions there. Oh, yep, you've got the let's see. That should be a little bit higher. Why is that number doing what it's doing? Oh, because it didn't come over correctly. Well, here, we're just gonna fix this really quick here. Here, I'll tell you what. Can you please, do you have one of your home dice there?
Yes.
Something happened in your character sheet and I don't know what's going on.
It's probably because I procrastinated at making Destry available. Beep, beep, beep.
That's all good. I'm just gonna pull them up in the character builder here real quick too. Always take a look at that. But why don't you roll me, just for now, D20 plus 7.
D20 plus 7. 12.
12. Okay. Unfortunately, a 12 misses the rat. It just the dagger clinks off the wall right behind it.
Well, damn.
So in this case, Destry was kind of lounging, didn't really have, maybe had a hand on the weapon. So we'll say it was pretty easy for him to get that and toss it. You've got 2 more actions to go. What would you like to do?
Lovely. Fun. Now I only had 1 dagger. Does it cost an action for me to go pick up my dagger?
It would. Yep. You've got another weapon on your character.
That's true. I do have another weapon, but something about that just sounds very fun.
Sure. You could.
I'm gonna try it again in a minute.
Sure. That's fine. So it would be a second action to stride over to where you would need to be, and then a third action to actually like pick it up and like grab it in the middle of combat off of the floor.
You know what? Destry's gonna do that. Destry is like, you know what? If this rat doesn't die from someone else, I'm gonna, you and me, buddy. we're gonna go again.
Sounds good. So if you want to move your character on the map to where you think just not in the same space as the rat would be the only thing I would say. But you
like near the rat.
Yep. All right.
No wonder this rat is confused.
It is. It doesn't know what you're doing either. Yeah. But it wonders what that sound was right behind it. Charlotte is up next. Yeah.
She was also really hoping that everyone would clean this up so she could just like sneak past everyone down that tunnel.
Rogues, am I right?
Any fun stuff? She didn't want to have to get her hands dirty. Yeah, she is going to pull out. She's going to draw her short sword. I don't know why I can't say that word tonight. Short sword. And mosey on up. She's not moving like quickly, but she'll mosey up to this last rat and just kind of stab it.
Sure.
Let's see if this works. I think I hit the right button.
Oh,
doesn't matter. That's a terrible roll.
You did use the correct button, but yes, unfortunately, it is a miss on the attack. But way to be bold! You drew your sword. You strode right up there to try and take this rat.
I did. I have. That is 2 actions, right? Of my 3.
That would have. It depends. Did you already have your short sword out when you were down here? Probably.
No.
I'm guessing, since you're an adventurer, maybe.
But I was over with the going through the table, so probably not.
Okay, so probably not. So it would have been an action to take it out, and then an action to stride, and an action.
So then I'm also gonna just like look at Destry and just like shrug and be like, "Well, we tried."
Hey, you looked cool doing it, for what it's worth.
Did we?
No, not really. You both missed.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I must heartily disagree.
I'm suffering
with the coolness factor.
Serious secondhand embarrassment.
I thought it was very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Jarvis's turn next. What would you like to be doing, Jarvis?
Oh, well, I really hope these rats would be gone by now. I usually like to save my spell slots for more important matters. But either here nor there. I suppose... Thumbus! What weapons do you have over there?
I just have things. I just make them go boom. I mean, I have this sword too, but it's kind of boring. I want to see things pop.
Now, if I might make it just a suggestion, you have 2 kinds of spell casting, right? You have first level spells, and you have cantrips. And cantrips are spells that you can cast over and over every day without expending them. They don't go away until you prepare something else the next day, right? First level spells, you cast them once, and then you don't get those back again until after resting. So you'll want to turn in after one fight, get a nap, come back down, and try it all over again. You so totally can, but you have a couple of options. There too. Yeah.
Okay, that helps, because if I was going to bestow my magic weapon spell onto someone, I would want to make sure it's on the right person.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I got my magic
Or-
right
or-
here.
or make sure that's like in a fight where doing a bunch of extra damage is going to be a really key thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's actually super helpful. In that case, I will just take out my own spear
Mhm.
and attack with that. I guess I'll do it myself.
Totally. Yeah.
That would be
You
great,
have a-
actually. Yeah, that'd be great.
The two laziest rogues on the planet.
I just really feel that I excel in more of a supervisor role, you know?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Game masters, do I need to then draw it first? It's
Yep.
kind of saying on
So
my
it would
sheet?
be now. I would say you have a long spear, and I think it's absurd to think that you wouldn't just be walking around with it like a staff because
Correct, yeah.
it's basically like a 10-foot long thing. So you've got it ready to
Okay,
go.
perfect. I would like to attempt to like kind of take it two-handed and drive it into this rat.
Sure. So for that, you would go ahead and make a strike action.
Oh wow.
Okay. 22 is definitely a hit. It is
Is
not
it a crit? Fuck.
It is not. No. You critically succeed when you get 10 over the target's armor class, and 22's close, but not quite there. Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage for that. It's probably going to be enough to eliminate this rat.
Well, hopefully.
It had 1 hit point remaining, so the good
All
news is
right.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Huzzah.
I was like,
Succeeded.
Finally. Took y'all long
Yay.
enough. I
Do you
mean,
see, rogues? This is how it is done.
I
Yes,
killed two of them.
yeah, whatever.
I
Listen.
killed one too.
this is how it's done. Someone who is much more ambitious handles it.
I'm just a little confused because I did kill two, and everyone's all excited about killing one, but I killed two.
my ankle really
Twice as many
hurts.
as you killed.
I think it's getting infected.
All right,
What the
well,
hell?
let's
Put
put
water in my
yeah.
gunpowder.
Charlotte would just be like, "Y'all are fine. You're fine. You're fine." Shall we, Destry, and mosey down this hallway a little bit?
Well, I will say that so that dust has settled here at the end of your first combat. You take a moment to look around at each other. Benji does have a couple of wounds to be thinking about there. Others have expended other resources. Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
He's fine.
uh,
Does that look
Don't
like
cry about
gangrene?
question.
It looks like gangrene.
I cauterized
um,
it for you.
Katie, you have a question.
I have a question. So I have a medicine kit and I can treat wounds. Is that like I can do it as many times as I want to thing? Or is that
Sure.
you have like X amount of times you can use this to heal people thing?
Yeah. You can use that as many times as you want, but someone can only benefit from it a certain number of times. So if you were to try to use your medicine skill on Benji, you would roll that check. And if you get 15 or higher, he's going to heal some hit points. If you get under 15, like 6 to 15, he's not going to heal hit points. If you somehow get a natural 1 and get 5 or lower, you would actually harm him more. But I think the odds are that you've got a decent chance of succeeding, if I recall correctly. And if
I
you do
add
so,
my
this is-
plus. Okay, I see. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Benji, do you want? And I kind of like reach into my pocket and start to pull, or I guess my like satchel and start to pull out the medicine kit. And I'm like, do you want? I can if that's something you desire. But
I think I've got rabies already. Am I frothing? Is this
Oh.
froth?
no,
What is that?
no,
Oh,
no,
no.
You, I don't. I think you're.
That's cheese. That's cheese from breakfast.
Oh,
We're fine.
that's disgusting. I am going
That's
to
the
try
snack.
to heal him.
Excellent.
God, I
Okay,
hope I don't roll a
Don't-
nat one.
Don't
Well,
eat
let's-
that. Why are you? Don't eat that.
Oh,
that was from
shit.
only like a couple days ago.
18 plus
Fine.
so 23.
23 total. All right. So with a 23, you'll actually be healing Benji for 2d8 hit points. So you can go ahead and roll
Amazing.
2d8.
While you roll, we have a drink water, friends.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Ah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
What's the limitations on how many times someone can benefit from this medicine check?
2d8 plus
Once per
anything?
hour.
Oh, that was good.
That's more than
13.
I think. I took 8 damage. I am good to go.
Okay. Yeah.
You feeling better?
And yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
So that action to treat wounds takes 10 minutes to do. So you're all having to just pause for a minute while you're making sure there's no gangrene in the wound from this rat bite here in the cellar.
I can sit with Benji if the rest of you want to, look around a bit. We don't all need to stay here.
It's fine. I certainly don't need any healing after the acid from Benji's underpits.
Do you want? I can,
Sorry.
and I sort of like pat down the ground on the other side of me, and I'm like, you can sit here if you'd like. I can do you both at once.
Well, in the game, we'll say yes. In other games, like if it was a real time crunch, you would say it'd be another 10 minutes to do it. But if you want to make another medicine check,
Zeki, do you want me to heal you? I don't know.
Yeah.
What to do. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and can I actually help if I'm trained in it?
You can always attempt to aid someone else, but the DC to do that is 20. So if you get a 20, they get a +1 to their roll. If you get a 10 or lower, they would actually get a critical failure. They would get a
fine. You don't need to help me. I'm very good at what I do.
So I would say that
I got a 19, so I feel like that. Don't help me. Whatever you do, don't help me. And is that also 2d8 or is that
also 2d8?
Also 2d8.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Well,
7.
How are we doing?
7. So if she had failed that, you could have attempted your own medicine check on yourself. Would be another option.
Yep. Okay, cool.
So for the rest of you, for Charlotte and Fumbus and Jarvis and Rydrick, and for I apologize, not Ryder, Desty or Desty. Sorry, I love Desty. He's great. You're kind of looking around this space that's here, and you're thinking that okay, rats like this, maybe they would figure out how to catch a fish or get one of the fish that had fallen out of a barrel. They're not the kind of thing that is going to smash its way into a barrel. There's more to be found here. So during that 10, 20 minutes of healing that's happening, you can take the chance to look around there. There's nothing really of value, and it all belongs to the person who's employing you anyway, upstairs. So in a moment, we're going to we'll proceed with the adventure. But first, I wanted to ask, around the table, are there any questions that came up for you while we were in the midst of that there that you'd like to ask now? Yes, Ryan, you have one.
So more so came up from me watching chat, and I think I saw someone in chat mention that a second attack in a turn takes a -5.
That's
Can
right.
you just-
Normally.
Especially as a rogue who doesn't have, say, spells or whatever, I would just be sorting. Would you mind detailing that a little bit before I put my foot in it with a -5 later?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something called the multiple attack penalty. And this is if you're just, out there swinging wildly 3 times in a row. Your first one might have some accuracy, but each of the subsequent ones is going to have a little less. And if you have, say, a long sword or a mace that you're swinging around that's a little heavier, then that's something that's going to take that full -5 penalty. Now, as a rogue, you're typically employing lighter weapons, daggers, short swords, and those are things that are going to let you use your dexterity modifier when you make attack rolls instead of your strength modifier. They're also going to let you, most of those weapons are going to have something called a trait attached to them called agile. And agile weapons only take a -4 penalty with their second attack, and then -8 on their third attack, instead of -5 and then -10. So if you're the rogue that is just stabbing quickly a few times, the first punch with it is probably going to do better than the second or third, but it's, it's not quite the full penalty that you would have there. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
when I look at my, not cantrips, I look at my actual first level spells. It says heightened +2, heightened +1. But if I look at the cantrips, it says heightened, and then it has a level, and it's like heightened, 4th level. So I'm trying to understand the different kinds of heightened.
Yeah. So heightening is something that happens to spells across all of 2nd edition. Most can be heightened, some cannot. What that means is that when you have higher level spell slots, so right now you only have 1st level spell slots, but at level 3 you'd have 2nd level, and at level 5 you'd have 3rd level, and so on and so forth going forward. You could for your spells that you've got there. So, for example, you've got this spell Grim Tendrils is one, and it says heightened +1. So if you were to move that up from being a 1st level spell and instead preparing it as a 2nd level spell, instead of doing its base of 2d4 negative damage, it would instead do 4d4 negative damage, and the additional effects would increase as well.
And that's not something I could do at 1st level, is what I'm understanding.
That's correct. You
cool.
wouldn't get
okay.
that
so I don't have to worry about it in this specific session. That is great.
You won't be worrying about it here. Now, that's your prepared spells. Cantrips are a little different in that they automatically heighten to the highest level of spell that you can cast. So something like Electric Arc is heightening at 3rd level, at 5th level, and it's always going up to there, and you don't have to prepare it any differently than you're preparing it right now.
Amazing.
But at the moment, it's on level 1 attack and damage and effects. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. All right.
I also have a question.
Sure, Ben.
All right. So I was on my turn. I was trying to decide between a couple of different things, and I don't currently have any skills or anything that allow me to do this, or features or feats or anything. But I was wondering about status effects being as important as they are in combat in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't have like any like intimidating attack or anything like that, where I sort of like I'm striking fear into the target.
Sure.
Could I make essentially like an intimidation roll, like in a circumstance like that, against a large group of rats, to sort of like whatever, like yell at them, whatever it is, show them a picture of a cat on my phone. to like scare them and sort of like instill that fear, or do I have to have an ability or a feat or something that allows me to do that first?
Yeah. So if you wanted to impact a large group at once, that would definitely be something that a feat would permit, and that's mostly for mechanical balance within the game and the way that it's created.
That
But you can certainly always just yell at really loud at one rat, or show that cat picture to one rat. And try and intimidate it that way. Now, when it's there's some things that happen there when people don't share languages, it gets a little different because it's hard to tell what's going to be intimidating to this, Lovecraftian nightmare that's coming at me, and that's not going to appear in this adventure, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, right. That stuff doesn't translate. But there are feats that you can take that would transcend that, like one called Intimidating Glare, where you just give them the rock arched eyebrow hard enough that they get scared, right? And then there's a whole series of feats that go along after that. So so that's one way that you can get around that. So you've got that. Intimidating would be one way to affect them, but you're probably also trained in athletics would be another thing, right? So athletics can be used to shove creatures, like to reposition them, or to trip them, or to try and grapple them and hold them in place where they are, or even pin them to the ground. Yeah. So there are some other options, but usually those athletic ones count as attacks, so that the multiple attack penalty then applies for later things that are happening.
Cool. That was going to be my follow-up question to that. It was like a shove. Is that a like a contested strength or athletics roll, or is it an attack? Cool. So thank you for that.
Sure. So you would roll an athletics check, and then it would be against, in the case of a shove, just going to say I'm pretty sure because I'm blanking at the moment, but I'm pretty sure a shove then goes up against their fortitude DC that happens there. So 10 plus their fortitude save. And if you pass that number, meet or pass that number, they are shoved. It might be reflex. I apologize. I'm blanking at the moment, but that's that's how that would work as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That actually made me think of another question,
Sure.
which is what other actions are there that maybe aren't on my character sheet, but that are sort of, like moving or striding? Or are there other things like that that are potential actions you could take?
Right. Yes, there definitely are. So there are all kinds of things that you can be doing. And there is, in the core rulebook, there's a list of basic actions that you can take that kind of highlight some of the most common ones that anyone and everyone can do. So things like if you want to try and identify what a creature is that you're looking at, that might give you some information about its strengths and weaknesses. If you want to try and feint something so that it becomes flat-footed to your attacks when you try and attack it, or when it is trying to interact with you, that would lower its armor class so that it would be easier to hit. If you intimidate something, it's going to be have not only lowered armor class, it's also going to have lower attack accuracy as well. Like everything gets affected by that. So there are quite a few different ones that are in there. I think some of those, if you've got the hero's handbook in a side window from some of the stuff I sent earlier to look at, there's on page 51 starts a whole all sorts of different actions that are tied to your skills, the skills that you have that you can try out. So those are a bunch of different things that are possibilities there as well.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So are there other actions? Yes. How many? Lots. And we'll discover them as we go. Mostly the thing I'm hopeful that we can do in this particular box is you tell me what you think your character would do in that moment. And we're going to try and use the rules as creatively as we can to kind of work through that to get where we're going. Does that sound good?
Amazing. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
I did have one question about the alchemist. So I know I have to use reagents to create my bombs, and if I run out of them, is there a way to create more, or is it kind of like I'm stuck until the next day?
Sure. So you get a certain number every day, and Fumbus, the way that character sheet, that pre-generated character sheet is set up, he's already spent 4 out of the 5 to create the bombs that he has and the healing potions that he has as well. So he's got 1 more infused reagent. Now, you could spend some time here outside of combat using it to make a couple more bombs, I think. I just need to check on that really quick. But additional reagents wouldn't come around until the start of the next day. And it's kind of a trade-off because as a bomber, you can, during your daily preparations, you can make a whole lot of bombs and you've got them all day. And then at the end of the day, they become inert and they can't be used anymore. But then you get your reagents and you go back. So you could make like 15 alchemist's fires right at the beginning of the day and just ready to toss those whenever you want. But if you have some reagents left, you can always pull those out for just the right thing at just the right moment. So say one of your allies gets poisoned and you need to feed them an antitoxin really quickly. Fumbus could come up with that in a snap instead of having to run all the way back upstairs to go buy one from a merchant and then run back down and hope that you get there in time for your friend. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
Actually, as this is that question from Omar just brought this up for me as somebody who's going to be running the campaign. And I know, Omar, this is something that you're going to be doing very soon too, so this might be important as well. As far as the acquisition of alchemical materials and that sort of thing, do you, and maybe this is ultimately just sort of like DM's stylistic choices, do you make sure that people are like keeping track of that, or is it like a sort of a really integral piece of the mechanics where like, I come from 5th edition where I frequently am like, material components to spells, honestly, I don't want to have to try and keep track of that, nor do I feel like it really adds a lot. So I'm kind of curious, Pathfinder, is that like an important part?
That's a great question. So I would say that let's talk about those two things. I'm going to talk about spells first and then about alchemy kinds of stuff. So spells, I would say that if a character like a wizard, like Elenwy, is casting spells, they should have in their inventory a spell component pouch. And the assumption is that as they move about their day-to-day adventuring, they're refilling that with what they need. Like now, if they're in somehow the middle of the desert with absolutely nothing around, then you as a GM would make that choice and you would say, well, yeah, you might not have the reagents, or you might not have the components you would need to cast this spell, but there's sand, there's critters still, there's rocks and sorts of things. You've got what you need for these other spells. That's mostly up to you. Generally, I would say if there's a reason you want to withhold it, I hope it's for them a really good one, because it's going to impact the choices that they make pretty seriously.
Cool.
For alchemy is kind of similar in that alchemists get like Fumbus because of his because of being an alchemist and having the intelligence score that he has. He gets 5 reagents per day that he gets to use, and he can spend those however he wants, right? And similarly, right, like they should be able to replenish those reagents without any trouble at the beginning of every day after they do a full rest. If you want them to say, well, you've been in the desert, right, and there's just nothing here for you to use, right, or you're in the tundra or something like that, then that's your call as the GM about that. Now, beyond that, I would say that's the core for the class things, like let the class do what it's designed to do. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, if Fumbus wants to make more stuff, awesome. There's going to be a cost to that in terms of having to go out and buy things or turning in, handing in some gold pieces to get what he needs to do that.
Cool.
If the spell itself lists a cost, like a component that has an actual cost to it, then yeah, I would say they definitely have to pay for that particular one. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, if you want to start charging Elenwe for every, ball of bat guano she needs for every fireball, then God bless your spreadsheeting, right? For that.
Don't you fucking dare.
I like spreadsheets, but not that much. Actually, you only got 3 sessions today. You can do it. Yeah, no, I'm good on that one.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool, thank you. That's useful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or anything else coming up? Looks good. All right. Are we okay to press on? Does anyone need a moment to step away from camera at all? I just want to double check. I wasn't sure if we wanted to take a break at any point there.
I'm good.
I'm good to go. If everybody else is.
Yeah. Ominous Piano says, let's go. All right. So Ominous Piano continues. You look through that hole that's in the eastern wall. It's big enough for even the tall elves amongst you, the stocky dwarf in your party, to crawl through with ease. There's no additional demolition is needed to get through this.
Oh, man!
This wall. Yeah. After squeezing through, and you can all move your characters a little bit forward here.
Am I still doing medicine, or can I move too?
You're fine. Yep. We're going to assume that while we were talking, which was about 20 minutes, the healing was happening. So yeah, right up to that point would be good. And then let's have folks stop there for now. All right. After squeezing through, you see that you are in a cavern that stretches back deeper under the streets of Otari. Anything could be down here, right? But of immediate concern is that just up ahead, past a few sturdy-looking stalagmites, there's a cliff that plunges sharply down into the darkness below. Charlotte and Rydrick are standing right at the edge of that cliff that's down there. It appears to be slick with moisture, and if you want to proceed, there's about 10-foot drop that's right there. So how each of you is going to have to figure out how you're getting down this. Now, ordinarily it'd be like, oh, it's an adventuring party. A 10-foot drop's not a huge deal, right? So part of that is kind of true. It's not a huge deal, but in Pathfinder, if you fall a distance, you take an amount of damage equal to half of the distance. So say this is a 10-foot drop. If you just jumped and landed, you'd fall prone and take 5 points of damage. But you could try climbing down, and if you succeed on a couple of athletics checks, you'll get to the bottom, no problem. If someone helps you with a rope or a climbing kit, the tie a lasso around your waist and lower you down, then no check will be needed at all for you to get down there. So I'm just going to ask, go down the list of folks who are here. How are you going to go down the cliff? Let's see, Charlotte, you're right there at the cliff itself. How are you wanting to get down this?
I think I would just turn around and climb down. I'm a thief. I scrabble up and down roofs and buildings, so I think I would just turn around and try and climb down.
Totally. All right. I will point out you do have a climbing kit in your inventory if you wanted to make use of that as part of this.
Sure. Let's do it.
And no additional paperwork or anything needed. It's just going to make help you get down there a little bit easier and make it a little easier for your allies as well.
Okay.
So
it lets me attempt a DC 5 flat check to prevent a fall.
Yep. So if you were falling, you could, in this case, oh gosh, and a DC 5 flat check just means you're rolling a D20 and you hope for a 5 or better. If you get a 4 or lower, you would keep falling. But if you get a 5 or better, you'd catch yourself and not quite go down all the way. So in this case, since you'll be climbing, can you go ahead and make me make me an athletics check here, or attempt an athletics check here?
Sure.
And chat, I apologize. I would love to keep up with you. I'm just not able to. So if anything, if he's got a specific thing for me that you all in the cast see that I should know, please shout it out.
They're doing an amazing job of teaching us things as you teach us.
I feel like Scott is helping us out more than
impressive.
asking for help.
Yeah, there's
and I'm not above asking for help in there.
Neither am I.
The two sources of context. Well, I mean, yes, true. Right now we're just talking about bat poop,
Yes.
but there's been a lot of really helpful contextual knowledge as we've been going. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, thank you, chat.
Awesome. All right. So Charlotte, with an 11, thanks to your setting the rope and getting everything set to climb down there, an 11's a success. You're about halfway down. Go ahead and make one more athletics check and we'll go. And then we'll just go kind of in rapid order of athletics checks to get down there. Excellent. 13. You're safely at the bottom of that 10-foot cliff. You can move yourself down over there to a spot that you would like. And you notice...
I cannot.
Oh, you can't? Okay. Well,
It thinks there's a wall.
Sure. I will move you down there, and then you can move from
Thank
there.
you.
Now, as a human, you can't see in the dark. That's not something that you can do. The
I
elves
have
in your
noticed that
garden-
my foundry is very dim.
Yeah, there you go. So,
I'm looking at Twitch.
Sure. Sorry about that. One thing that we're going to do here, is we're just realizing that you are going to need some source of illumination. Now, you have torches in your backpack if you would want to light one up.
I think I would. Absolutely.
I'm
Light
going
up
to
a
do
torch.
this. I'm hopeful this will... Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. And let's see. We're going to put that in your hand and try and get you a light source here. Okay. All right. There we go. Whoop. Nope. Didn't do it. My apologies. This is me figuring out how to do this.
We're all learning together. It's
I
totally
can continue to look at Twitch for the map.
No, that's all right.
We can just know I have
hopeful-
a torch up.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that you can see now.
Oh, there we go. Now I have a little... Yeah.
Got a little halo. Yep, right around you.
Halo.
Okay, great. Rydrick, you're right there. Would you like to try and climb down second?
All right. First things first, I'd like my own light, so I'm gonna pick up a rock and cast light on that. I'm not depending on the torch.
Oh man, mine's not good enough for you?
No, it's real fire. That could go out, and who knows what you're up to. So, can I cast light on a rock?
Absolutely.
Great.
All right. A 20 and 20. I'll get you lit up here. Well, why don't you, as you get ready to climb down, Go ahead and roll me. Let's just go ahead and roll 2 athletics checks in a row, just to.
Just to check, anyone want to lower me down on a rope or something? I
was gonna
don't
say,
think I'm
as
the most
a-
athletic.
As a small but relatively beefy boy, could I just, kind of put a rope around my waist and just kind of let them all climb down and then trust fall with the group?
Absolutely. Yeah. Or climb down yourself. Yeah. So,
in
right.
retrospect, I don't trust Destry or Charlotte
why don't
to
we
catch me.
get the rope?
fully.
So I'm gonna
wouldn't.
tie him up with the rope.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Hi.
Wait, this is not what I signed up. Wait, turn the light off at least. Come on. I get camera shy.
It's better when we can all see it. Okay.
Does anyone else have an alternate way they would like to get down besides having Benji lower them? Ellen, you've got something you want to say?
So this might be shenanigans, but I want to be sure that I'm doing this correctly. You said it is a 10-foot drop, and you said you take half damage. So I'd take 5 points of damage.
Right.
I would like to cast Shield and sled down it because it will absorb up to 5 points of damage.
I love that.
Okay.
Is that allowed?
Very clever. I really like that idea. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna run with that. Here's what I'm going to say. Can you roll me an Arcana check?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Let's see how good your timing is on having the shield absorb the force of the blow. And I'm saying yes to this because Harry Dresden did it in one of his books.
God, I'm
It's
so
true.
unoriginal.
I did.
It is
17.
such a good, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
So 17, I'm going to say that because 17 also beats the athletics DC of climbing down. I'm going to say that's success. Your shield absorbs the blow. Now, one thing you'll note about the shield spell, and you may want to take a look at this, the fine print.
I know I can't cast it again for a little bit, but I just wanted to sled.
It was fantastic. It was an
You just
excellent.
gained 2 points in Charlotte's book. A little bit.
I might get hurt later, but at least I'm cool now.
All right. So Island is down on the lower floor. We've got Jarvis, we've got Destry, and we've got Benji that are still up top. Anyone else trying to climb on their own, or just letting the dwarf lower you and then have him climb?
Definitely a Fumbus. When a collection of people gets down there, he's more chaotic in nature and not very athletic, but very acrobatic. I was wondering if he can instead jump off and try to kind of use the people going down as kind of like a makeshift bridge,
Sure. Okay.
bump their heads.
Yeah. You have a large enough party that it's functionally like stage diving off onto them. So I'm going to give you a shot at that. Yeah. Go ahead and attempt an acrobatics check on that one. Yeah.
Okay. As they're down, it was go bombs away. Just kind of jump down using you all as stepping stools.
Excellent.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that is a acrobatic check. Here it is. And yay! 24.
Yeah. Your friends not only see you coming, they also assist you in landing, and so you have successfully made it to the bottom of the cliff with your acrobatics. Fantastic.
10 port landing.
All right. Let's get Destry and Jarvis down. Any particular way you would like to descend, or just quickly as possible here?
Just gonna use a rope and climb on down.
With Benji's help, it shouldn't be any difficulty at all. You could lower yourself or get lowered down that way. Find yourself there. Jarvis, how would you be going? Same thing?
Either the same thing, or with my training in nature, if I'm able to kind of read the wall face and kind of identify footholds and loose cracks where I know I could potentially cushion a drop and slide and kind of understand the geology around me, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be happy to allow that. Yep, go for it.
Awesome.
You might even see a comfy mushroom that you know is going to withstand your descent as well. Yeah.
Excellent. So let me roll that. Ah, well, I guess we can't have it all.
I'm just going to say that you lose your focus for just a moment as Fumbus is, cascading down from above, and maybe you just scrape your hand or something. You'll take 2 points of damage from that, but you'll be able to make it to all
Mushroom missed it.
Mushroom.
I said bombs away.
Yeah. All right, and then Benji, climbing yourself down, a pair of athletics checks that I imagine you're probably not going to have any trouble passing.
I don't think so either. But I've said that before and then instantly biffed it, so
Are you setting the rope against one of these stalagmites here and tying yourself off before lowering yourself down? Because you'll have to come back this way as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to leave us an easy ascent on the return trip.
All right, here we go then.
All right. Okay, that's a good one. That's
24.
Yeah. And
24, excellent. Yep. Make quick work of getting down the rope, and everyone is now down at the bottom. Okay, thank you all. This skill thing, figuring out how we're going. I loved your descriptions. Those are fantastic. And for thinking outside of the box on how you wanted to use your skills and abilities for your character to pull this off. Yeah. So now that we're down here, we've got some light sources that are available for folks. We're back in exploration mode, going forward into the next chamber that's up ahead here. Who is leading the way as you go forward?
Definitely not me.
I mean, I'm the beefy boy for a reason. I guess I might as well.
Okay, so Benji, you're very a shield-focused fighter, right?
I am.
Yeah, there is an exploration mode activity called Defender, I believe. I might be confusing my terms here, but functionally what it means is that if you use this while you're exploring, if a combat were to start, you would start combat with your shield ready to go, already raised. So instead of having to spend an action to raise it, you would be there. So if somebody gets the jump on you, for example, you've already got that up and ready to go. Other folks similarly, how are you proceeding? Maybe there's a couple of you that are just routinely searching for things and keeping your eye out for stuff that might jump out of the shadows. Is anyone trying to be particularly stealthy as they go here into the next room?
Oh yeah, totally. Fumbus is trying to be stealthy while keeping an eye out on the layout.
If we're all trying to be stealthy, I suppose I will also stealth.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we're on team tiptoes and sneaking into the next space here.
Yeah. I'm definitely not trying to be loud. So. Also gonna stealth.
Yeah. Destry's also gonna stealth, but Destry has something called expeditious inspection.
Ooh, okay.
It's can I put it in a place to read it? It's just you observe and assess your surroundings with great speed. You recall knowledge, seek or sense motive.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me just see that one there. Oh, how did you get that one?
I made myself very good at reading situations in the Gambler, I guess.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. So normally that's another character class's ability. So it got onto your character sheet somehow. I think that's fantastic. That's great. We'll roll with it.
Question for you, Jason. I have quiet allies.
Sure.
Which when it says skilled at moving with a group, when we're avoiding notice and your allies follow the expert, you and those allies can roll a single stealth check instead of rolling separately.
Right.
Is that
right.
something that would be applicable here? The avoiding notice and follow the expert are in caps, so that makes me feel like those are things that I just don't know what they mean.
Sure. Usually when you see a word in the middle of a sentence that is capitalized, that's a specific thing within second edition. So avoiding notice is a stealth action that you can attempt. Follow the expert is an exploration mode activity where everyone who like, if someone is really particularly quite good at here, let me get the actual text up for it here. If you have one ally in the party that's really good at stealth, for example, they can, if they're an expert, other people can kind of get a benefit to how they do stealth checks as they go. So right now you're still just trained in stealth. You're not an expert in stealth.
Cool.
So we can't quite take advantage of that yet.
But it could be applicable in the future.
Yeah, by second
This would
level,
be the kind of situation if we had an expert.
Exactly.
This is the situation that's meant for. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Cool. Charlotte's
In
good at
another
normal
adventure I
stuff
ran.
then.
Yeah. So like in another adventure I ran, there was someone who was an expert in athletics, and everyone else followed them on climbing a cliff that needed to go up, right? Say, for example. So, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This game's so fucking cool.
Yeah, cool.
That's all I have to say.
All right.
There's a lot of neat
Fun.
stuff that's playing with each other. Yeah. So with that, the party can move to the north through this chamber here. Benji, you look like you're maybe seeing something. I'll probably say, Benji, you could pause there, but everyone else can catch up to them, move ahead to the northwest and kind of take up positions.
I have a mechanical question of just Foundry itself, which is
Yes.
that right now I have zoomed out quite far so that chat and I can all see what's going on. But I
Yeah.
don't actually know how to drag my view around, so if I wanted to like zoom in again
Right
so
click.
that folks can see it's right click.
Right click to drag and then.
All right, I'll just
pinch
see
and-
myself out. Thanks, guys. It's been a great night.
Great. Good night. No.
It's okay, Ben. I didn't know how to do it either. So you asked, and I was like, I also wish to know this because
I was like,
it
is
keeps
it
getting
shift
smaller
click,
and
control
smaller.
click? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Do I just
Right.
wish it to happen?
Yeah. We are all learning. Yes.
Oh, this is
You also
just
know
delightful.
if you're looking like players, if you're looking at Twitch chat versus your own screen, you'll notice that Ben, because I'm pretty sure we're watching Ben's feed here, Benji can see quite a bit farther, and that's because, and Omar would be able to do this as well because of being a goblin. Having dark vision means that if there's no light sources, you can still just see. It's in black and white, but you can still see going forward. The rest of you, again, they're needing light sources to be able to see what else is coming up. And so, of course, you can probably all maybe have a little bit of an inkling of what you're seeing here in the next chamber, because this natural tunnel has led you deeper underground for a short distance before opening into a more spacious cave. There is a blue light that you can just make out at the edges that appears. See your Jarvis, the druid, upon seeing these, would be able to identify them as like a phosphorescent fungus that glows with a very faint blue light there. You can just barely, in this room, make out vast strands of some substance that covers the walls and the ground and is strung between those and the stalagmites and stalactites that are here like shimmering curtains. Jarvis, can you just make a quick nature check for us for the party?
Of course.
Yeah.
Click, click.
13. Okay.
It's a 13.
Great. Nope, 13. With a 13, obviously, you can tell that this is very likely a set of webs that have been spun by some large arachnid creature of some type. Now, generally, as we probably all know about spiders, they're not going to do a whole lot unless something disturbs their net, in which case they might do something very quickly to what's happening there. So the question would become, does the party want to try and carefully get past, and the piano is making this extra creepy, right? Does the party want to try and get past without disturbing the webs at all, which makes me for some very careful movement, or just boldly charge ahead and see what's going to happen next?
Well, I mean, what's the worst that could possibly happen, right? It's not like giant spiders or anything. That would be ridiculous.
I mean,
That's
that's a
exactly
You
what
don't
would
have to
happen.
say it. It's like you're asking for it.
I'm not asking for it. I just happen to live in this world. I don't know.
But I mean, if more spiders come by and we could
We're doing a
blow them
lot of
up.
talking. We're doing a lot of loud talking.
Now-
I would rather not fight giant spiders if you don't have to.
I'm also
Personally.
on team against spiders showing up. Just in general. Just
I mean, but Charlotte, isn't this your web?
Boo!
Just pay,
I do not understand
I don't
that
I don't.
reference.
just
I don't
pay
understand.
attention.
What?
The web can sense the tension as you brush up against it. So it is critical that we do not touch it.
All right.
Okay, so tippy toes.
I have just the most invasive thought right now, just walking over to it and be like, boing, and I'm not going to, but I want you to know.
Benji, I'm looking at you.
Got my fucking eyes
It
on
may
you,
have-
bro.
Yeah, it may happen inadvertently. So let's see. If you want to try and get past it without disturbing it, everyone could attempt an acrobatics check to see if they can get.
I'm very
Yes.
bad at those.
Oh,
I'm
no,
really good
no,
at
no. I am not an acrobat.
I hate to break it to you guys.
So
but
long, suckers!
I'm gonna fucking touch it. It's gonna happen.
I can
Charlotte,
try.
Jarvis.
Charlotte,
Hey,
Oh,
can I guide someone? I have
Oh,
guidance.
love this. Oh, this is great. Look at these all come across.
Oh my god.
Who just bumped
excuse
my
me.
roll? Get out
Does
of
someone
here.
want to carry me? I could be carried.
Okay.
All right. So,
The elf.
I think, did I have the lowest roll there?
No, I have a
Oh.
4.
Oh.
I would love so much if Charlotte and Destry, since they rolled so high, are just essentially doing like Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones in like the lasers.
That's exactly what I'm picturing.
We're just like it's very
Absolutely.
sexy.
It is a dance for the ages. Yes, to see it in action. Absolutely.
We've done
I
it.
take one step and fall on my face right onto the bed.
True.
So here's what I will say. Could I, Ben? You had a question, quick.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
I
oh,
think
oh,
I'm
I
gonna
have a
use my
hero
hero
point.
point. Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking about
I forgot
that.
about those.
If you
Thank
would like
you,
to
Nick.
use your hero point, you are welcome to at this time. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Whew,
All right.
feel better.
Okay.
Over under on my next roll being worse.
Oh,
Oh, that was real close.
Much
Better.
better.
Okay.
okay.
I'll take it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, a little better. Okay. So the difficulty class that I'd set for this was 15. So
Still don't
here's, here's what I'm going to say.
Katie, you would have been a critical fail.
I know. Oh, that's true. Actually. Okay. Okay.
Excellent hero point usage.
Still good hero
It,
point.
it got you out of a pardon me, I'm a dad, I'm going to make this joke. It got you out of a sticky situation.
Oh, boo.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
You and Ben.
Chat, I'm especially sorry.
All
All right. So here's what I'm going to say. If you succeeded on this check, you can move into the room undetected. If you failed at this check, you move into the room, but you are detected. If you'd critically failed, I would have said that you would have actually gotten caught up in the webbing itself and you'd be slowed down by what's happening here. And we had one critical success from Charlotte. Very well rolled there. Very nice 19 on the die. I'm going to say that you spot this before anyone else. And so I'm just going to, if you'll permit me as PM, to just kind of shoot everyone into the room up here like this. You spot up to the northeast a large figure unfurling itself from the roof. And with 8 spindly legs, this, I'm going to say...
Jason, I don't think it is. I think it's furling itself in and it's taking a nap.
Furling in?
I think
Instead of
it's you can hear
Yeah.
it snoring a little bit, just like a little
Snoring.
cute.
I think
Very
it's
Very
pissing
sleepy.
itself just a little bit because it's very scared of us. Frankly.
Well, it's entirely possible that this pony-sized spider is...
No.
Nah, man.
Nope.
Oh,
no.
God.
I think it's a spider-sized pony.
Spider-sized pony?
I'd
What
rather
would you
fight one
fight?
spider-sized pony than two.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's that ancient question, right? 1,000 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck, right? Like, what would you rather go against? So, but instead, there is this very large arachnid that is here, and it is bearing down on those of you who have disturbed webbing. Webbing.
Oh, is it getting married?
Oh, we
no,
did
did he crash
deserve
his
to
wedding?
be punished.
Yes. So, if that affects your your decisions at all in combat, we're going to learn in just a moment. So we're actually going to just go ahead and use those acrobatics checks as our initiative checks. In this, in this combat.
Okay.
So we have one fluffy giant spider. Thank you, random. Let's see.
Fluffy, of course.
Yeah.
One.
Wait, no.
Here. Oh, sorry. I've got this guy in the wrong place. Excuse me, everyone. Just moving him over there a little bit.
Oh, it's dark outside. Oh, no.
Oh, it all went dark. What happened here? Ben, click on Benji if you can.
Yes.
For the sake of the chat.
User configuration, monochrome dark vision.
Maybe click and drag a big thing.
I'm not getting anything.
Oh, what did I do here?
Should I
hit. Nope, that's the GM's fault. He hit everyone. Sorry, everyone.
From the spider, and we can now proceed unperturbed.
I don't see it on there anymore. We can
Yeah.
just continue.
Nobody's here, so we'll just go. Yep. All right. Well, I am going to have it do its initiative, and then we'll get everybody else. Oh, well, wonderful. It's going almost last anyway. So, Charlotte, I remember having a 26. You will be up first. Destry, you're going to be next, and then we'll fill out the tracker from there. So, let's see. Charlotte, what do you want to do when you see this thing start?
Well, other than run away screaming, she is going. Okay, we're gonna use the above the table, under the table hand signals as always. Above the table, what sneak attack and surprise attack?
Sure.
Can you clarify for me a little bit the difference and what we can use for me and Destry? I think is what those pantomimes are from Rachel.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So rogues have the sneak attack ability, and that means that when an enemy can't detect them, that's one option, or is flat-footed to them, and say like if they're in a flanking situation where your character is on the opposite side of the enemy from one of your allies, and you can draw a straight line through the middle. Then that enemy gets a penalty to its armor class, and you'll do an additional, at level 1, you'll do an additional 1d6 points of what's called precision damage against them. You're hitting just the right spot for attacking them. In this case, I'm going to say that those of you who did not disturb the web are going to start undetected by the spider. And because you're undetected, it would have to actually seek you out to try and find you, unless you come up and attack it. And then it will very clearly know exactly where you are. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you wanted to...
If I were to attack it right now, I would get sneak attack?
You would get your additional damage if you successfully hit it. Yeah. And it would be...
I would not get surprise attack because I did not roll deception or stealth for initiative. Am I reading that correctly?
I would normally say no, but I'm kind of saying yes because you succeeded at this acrobatics check so well. So ordinarily, no. Yeah.
Okay. If I'm reading these correctly, it would indicate that creature is then flat-footed anyway, so it would still just give me sneak attack. So either way, it's okay. Just trying to add as much oomph to this as I possibly can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Charlotte is gonna look behind her, and she's clearly contemplating just like running down this hallway and leaving everyone behind. And she's gonna realize that Elle is 100% stuck in this web, and she's just gonna have to come back to save her ass anyway, and so she will attack the spider.
Excellent.
Okay. I think she's going to throw her dagger at it. She does not want to get too close. She's going to throw her dagger at it.
Okay.
Which she already has out because she pulled it out when we were coming down the...
All right. You can. If you can see it now, it is about 25 feet away from you. Yes.
Okay. How do I know what my range is?
Sure. You can see that on the weapon itself, if you click on the name dagger in your character sheet, it'll expand. And there's a trait there that says common, agile, finesse, thrown 10 feet. That means it's got a 10-foot increment.
Cool.
So if you throw it from the two closest squares to you, no problem. The next two closest squares, you take a penalty to the attack roll. The third closest squares, it would be an even further attack roll or a penalty on top of that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll get a little bit closer. I'll probably get within 15. I'll take like a tiny bit of a penalty, but I don't want to take too much of a penalty.
It'd be a -2 to the attack roll. Yep.
I will okay. I'll get close enough to not take a penalty. I'll be
sure.
I'll be
within
nice
10 feet of it. Yep.
Yeah, and then I will throw my dagger, and it rolls the same way, strikes with the same bonus.
Yes, because normally you'd use strength for melee attacks and dexterity for ranged attacks, but since you're using dexterity for both melee and ranged, it's going to be the same. Yep.
The same. Okay, so I want to make sure it doesn't change. Okay, so let's see. Well, that was almost really nice.
Well, I'll remind you, here we are. I don't believe you used your hero point yet.
I did not, so let's use it.
Like
Why not? Yeah, let's hope it doesn't get worse. Everyone cross your fingers for me.
Ooh.
Did not get worse. Dope.
Did not get worse. No. With a 22, you successfully strike your target. Yeah, and you deal it some damage. Go ahead and roll damage for that attack.
Okay, so that's a 1. But it also gets sneak attack, which is a D6.
Yep, another D6. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Rolling amazing tonight.
Okay. So that was 6 points of damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. You had your dagger out. You strode forward. You threw your dagger. You hit it. It kind of a little bit at you. It knows where you are now. You've got one action remaining. Do you want to back up a little ways, or do you want to do something else?
Yeah, I'm gonna back up. Probably like 5-10 feet.
Okay. Awesome. All right. After you is Destry. Destry, what would you like to do here? You're undetected by this creature.
Hey, Charlotte. Bet I could hurt it more than you.
I mean, that's not gonna be hard to do.
Just gonna give it a try. So Destry is also going to throw a dagger.
Okay.
I'm going to step. How close do I need to be?
If you don't want to take the penalty, you would need to be within 10 feet of it, or 2 squares of it. So that would be about here. Yeah, about there. Yep.
Up there.
That'd be a good spot to be.
Cool.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna throw my dagger. Oh wait.
We can assume you had it out.
Yeah, I picked it up after trying to throw it at a rat.
You did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I did see some very consensual sheathing happening earlier. I think.
Oh my!
All that.
Okay.
So that was good. But yeah, yeah, putting things away. But I assume adventurers, I tend to assume, are walking around everywhere, fully armed and ready for a fight at a moment's notice.
Always ready to fight.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So roll for that. Beep, beep, beep. A 13.
Okay. Unfortunately, well, you've already heard me say unfortunately, so I was guessing, yeah, unless you want to use your hero point, you'll know that a 13 is not going to strike your target. Actually, hold on. 9, you're I didn't fix your thing yet. It would be higher, but it's still not quite enough to strike your target. It would be 16 instead.
Beans. Well, damn. Guess.
I win that
Beans.
one. I win that one.
Oh, beans and cornbread. Well, how many actions does Destry possess?
Yes.
Left.
Well, you've used 2. You've got 1 remaining.
I would like very much to get away from this spider. Thank you very much. I'm gonna pull
Come over here.
back.
Come here.
I'm actually gonna stand next to Charlotte and give Charlotte a gold piece because I lost the bet.
I will let you do that as a
a wager is a wager.
All right. Jarvis, you are up next. What would you like to do?
You all couldn't have been a little more quiet. I would like to maybe either use perception or a nature check and see if there's any loose rock above or around the spider.
Totally. Yeah. I don't think you would even need to spend an action on that. Yes, in a cavern, a natural cavern like this, you're going to find loose rock pieces in various places. Yes.
Any that look like they may or may not have larger rock that they are potentially supporting and
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You're maybe hoping to drop a whole lot of rocks at once, perhaps.
Potentially. I mean, I think
I will. Yeah.
I would like to cast my mage hand.
Oh, okay. Sure,
and
sure.
try to either take a grappling hook attached to a rope and attach it to one of these rocks, and I could either give it to Benji to pull or potentially pull it myself, or just have the mage hand pull it if it's that loose. But I guess the mage hand will assess the situation.
All right. So then in that case, I would say, yes, please make a nature check before you launch into mage hand. I want you to get a good, because now that I know more of what you're thinking about doing, not just picking up a rock and throwing it, right? But
no, just trying to potentially collapse that portion of the cave entirely.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see how that goes. Okay. With a 19. Yep, with a 19, you can tell this is actually a fairly sturdy cave, and a fairly sturdy cavern. While there are some loose rock deposits and there are some cracks in various places, things have settled pretty well over the centuries to make this place what it is. And on top of that, it's slightly reinforced by the webbing too. But with a 19, I would also say that as you're kind of taking in the spider and studying it, in addition to the webbing in the cavern. And you would remember something you learned once about spiders of this size. They also have an ability to just launch webbing at a target if they want to try and cover it and like Spider-Man sticky it to a spot or something like that.
Okay.
You think that a spider that can do something like that knows how to pick a space that's going to be pretty secure. Yeah.
Understood.
But I love your idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, I would still like to cast Mage Hand, I think. And then I would like to have the Mage Hand take some oil from my inventory and dump it on the spider and some of the webbing around it.
Okay. So we're going to have that be, we'll do nature check and Mage Hand this round. Oil and oil dumping is probably next round because it's two actions.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, then I'll just ready this little clay jug of oil kind of above the spider, just holding it ready to go.
Yeah. What does your Mage Hand spell look like? What's the hand itself? Is it a particular color or something that designates it as your Mage Hand?
Yeah, so it's almost as if whenever I start doing, because let me check the spell itself. Do I need to do any? Okay, so there is like a somatic component to this. So I kind of shake my hand and like give it like 3 solid shakes, and like a spectral green hand just like kind of like pops off of it as it starts to then like kind of like float around and start like just moving and stretching its digits, and then I kind of like hand it the oil and it floats off.
Never say stretching its digits again. I did not like that. I did not like that at all.
Fair enough.
I thought that's great, and it matches your occult investigation stuff well. To have this ectoplasmic kind of a thing happening. That's fantastic. All right, Fumbus is going to be up next. Omar, what would you like to have Fumbus do here?
Okay, I have one quick question. So it looks like the acid flask, it says a 20-foot incremental range, but I can't see anything for the alchemist fire. I want to know how far can I throw these things?
Oh, sure. It should also be 20 feet. Yes.
Okay. And then if I were to extend that, I would take some type of penalty if I wanted to throw it past that.
Sure. So this is called a range increment. So in the first 20 feet of throwing, there's no penalty. In the second 20 feet would be a -2 penalty to your attack.
Okay. And how far is the spider from me from here?
Yeah.
All right, -2. Okay, because is there anything around me, like rocks, something I can like duck behind or anything like that by any chance?
You're a little goblin, and yeah, I would say there's probably a stalagmite of some type that's nearby that you could take advantage of if you wanted to.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So, oh man, this is a real big fucking spider. Let's see if it can blow. First thing first, I'd like to take the recall knowledge action to see if I know any weaknesses or things that were really like I can analyze the spider.
Sure, that would be a nature check against this particular animal, or if you have like lore spiders or spider lore, like if you've really done that.
Nope.
Which you actually you could try and roll just doing a basic intelligence check if you wanted to do that instead of a nature check.
Let's see. So my int is yeah, I can give my basic intelligence check.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and how do I roll just a regular int check?
Sure. If you're on your character sheet and you go to the character tab, the furthest one to the left, you'll see your ability scores down there at the bottom of the sheet, and you just click on the modifier itself. I'm pretty sure.
Nothing's happening.
No. Ooh, that's not it. I apologize. Well, you could also just grab a D20 from the tray down in the bottom right corner and toss that out as well.
Okay.
Or from your desk. Either one. Yeah.
I'll grab it from the bottom here.
Ooh.
16 plus 4. So 20.
Okay, a 20. Great. All right. So this, you take a quick look at it. And you're like, I've studied some spiders, right?
Yeah.
And this particular species doesn't have a weakness per se, but so no one kind of damage that you're going to do is going to hurt it more than another. But you do remember that they do have a venomous bite. So if they bite you, there's a good chance of getting poisoned. So you want to be ready for that, just in case.
Right. And acid is not strong as acid. Like I would have thrown one of my acid vials, it'll still hurt it, right?
Yep, acid would definitely still hurt it. Yep.
Oh, nice. All right, then. So I'm going to keep it nice and safe back here and pull out one of my vials, pop it out, put it into a little container of metal, squeeze it up, and take a little bit of flint. Fire in the hole! If you're next to it, then you're shit out of luck! And use my second action to throw my acid vial bomb at it, but mine taking a -2 because it is beyond.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. toss that out there. Acid flasks are a little different from alchemist fire in that an alchemist fire is going to do a lot of fire damage at first, and then a little lingering persistent damage. I apologize, I forgot that in the last fight. Whereas an acid flask is going to do a very little bit of damage at first and a lot of persistent damage as it clings to the target and does more. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it burn.
Yeah.
Slowly.
All right, so I will. Oh yeah, so I clicked the drop button before by accident, not realizing.
That's fine.
All right, so I will roll that strike. How do I get it to apply the -2?
So if you click on it, there's a little context menu that pops up, and it should give you the chance to put a -2, or you can just roll it, and we'll know that there's -2 to it.
Yes. Okay. So -2.
Yeah. Here we go.
And roll.
Oh, that's still good though. 22.
22. Okay, a 22 is a hit. It's not a critical hit, but it is a hit.
No.
So you are going to get it with the acid flask. So go ahead and roll damage for it. All right. It is going to take 2 points of acid damage. Let's see here. Just making sure I'm getting this right here. Okay. Deals 1 acid damage initially. That 2 is going to be the persistent acid damage that it takes, and then 1 more splash damage. So you've done 2 damage this round. It'll take 2 more damage on its turn.
And how long does that last?
That will last until it makes a flat check to kind of shake off the effects of the acid. So if it keeps rolling under a 15 at the end of its turn, it's going to just keep taking damage and damage and damage.
Then finally, for the last thing, I'm going to look around and say, you guys got the rest of this, right? Good. And I want to use the take cover action to hide behind one of these rocks.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. Go ahead and attempt a stealth check.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Take cover is just an action. You just do it. Now you've got something between you and it. I apologize. I was thinking of another thing. All right. Excellent. That was Fumbus, and now we are on to Elenwy. What would you like to do, Elenwy?
So I think, and this spider has noticed me because I didn't roll well enough. So I look over at it and I realize that it is looking directly back at me, and I go, oh, well, now you see Elenwy, and now you don't. And I wave my hands in the air, and a puff of pink and purple sparkles appears, and I will need a will saving throw from the spider.
Okay. Let me see here.
Ooh, baby.
Total of 11.
So sorry, what is a critical failure? 10 minus? 10 below?
So 10 less than the DC, yes.
Okay, so it's not a critical failure. It is just a failure. All right, so it is stunned 1, blinded 1 round, dazed, dazzled for a minute. I don't know what it means to be dazzled.
Well, okay. All right. Let's see. What was the name of this spell?
This is a color spray.
Okay. So color spray, if I recall, has a range on it as well, right?
Yes. That is a good point.
Please don't blind me.
No, it just says 15-foot cone.
Yep. So you would need to get a little closer first.
I will do that. I will happily move up a bit to do it.
We'll carry that over. Okay, cool. So read me those conditions again. Stun 1, right?
So that's going to be, hold on, I have to open it back up again. Failure. Creature is stunned 1, blinded for 1 round, and dazzled for 1 minute. And I would love to know what being dazzled means.
Sure. So being dazzled, let's see. Dazzled is a condition, like all these other ones. Dazzled means that it is going to have a difficult time spotting anyone in particular. It says when you're dazzled, your eyes are stimulated, and if vision is your only precise sense, then all creatures and objects are concealed from you. So
That's
concealed
very
means it would have to make a it means it would have to make a flat check to try and even successfully attack anyone. A DC 5. So if it rolls a D20, if it gets a 5 or lower, the 5 or higher, the attack still has a chance to hit. Still has to succeed on the attack.
Okay.
If it rolls a 4 or lower, the attack can't possibly hit on that.
That's very cool. Cool. All right.
Yeah. To talk about the 2 other conditions you were talking about there, when someone is stunned, they lose an action on their turn later in the round. So instead of getting 3 actions, he'll only get 2. Same thing, similar thing happens for slowed. Stunned is just a little bit more intense of that. Being blinded, blinded means that everyone is, you can't detect anything using vision. All normal terrain is difficult terrain, so it takes twice as much movement to get anywhere. You can't really see anything, of course, as it kind of is in the name. So that's all the mechanical things that are happening behind that spell. Color spray is a great one for blasting things with eyes. So don't use it on worms, I guess. Yeah.
And that ends up being the entirety of my turn, right? Because I had to move, and then that's a 2 action spell. So then I'm kind of just stuck. Correct?
That is correct. Yep. So that was
Well-
Eleanor's turn.
I hope it doesn't go for me, but we'll see.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right.
You're
Benji,
welcome.
or sorry, Rydrick. Rydrick is up next. What would you like to do, Rydrick?
Oh God. It's 35 feet away, right?
From where you are,
From where I am.
yes, it is.
Okay. This thing looks fast. Why don't we see if we can slow it down a little bit? So I'm gonna
Okay.
run sort of towards this other exit over here.
Yep.
And that puts me, yeah. Okay, so gonna do that, and then I'm gonna give my best shot at a Tanglefoot. So
Nice.
I sort of throw out my hands, and a giant vine covered in sticky sap sort of grabs at the legs of the spider thing. And so I'm going to give my best shot at that.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead. And I believe it's an attack roll that you would be making.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
There we go.
Y'all are rolling hot. And 24 is a successful hit. All right. And so to Tanglefoot, it gains the immobilized condition. And let's see, takes a 10-foot circumstance penalty to its speeds for 1 round. Wow. Okay, it's stuck in place. It can barely move. It's stunned. You guys, this is fantastic. You're hitting it with all of the conditions that you possibly can. All right, that would be Rydrick's turn then. Nicely done. Benji, you are up next.
Great. Well, the only condition I am currently very good at applying is death. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move over towards it. I'm going to advance 15 feet, get up in its face while raising my shield, grasping with 2 hands. Taking my stance, and then I'm going to smash it in the face with my shield.
Excellent. Go ahead and make your attack against it.
Yeah, that's a 27.
27. Wonderfully done. Okay. That is definitely a hit. It's not quite a critical hit.
Not quite a critical.
So
Okay.
very close. Yeah, very close. All right.
So I actually did have a question about this.
Yeah.
I forgot to click on Everstand Shield or Everstand Stance. So it says the weapon die is advanced by 1 step. Does that mean it goes from a D6 to a D8?
It does. So what you would do here in Foundry, you'd click and hold there where it says stance, Everstand Stance, and you would drag that onto your token for your character. And then it would apply that condition to you, or it should, I believe. That's how it's designed to work. And then, once you do that, I think your damage should go up again. Doesn't quite do that. We are gonna figure this out.
Skills, ever stance.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Just come here. Do it. Stand.
Yeah. Or you can roll a d8.
Just roll a
plus
d8.
4. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. 7 points of damage. All right.
And hopefully,
Bad to see.
hopefully it just pays attention to me because I'm up in the mix.
You are indeed. Okay, so you ran forward. You took ever stance. You slammed it with your shield. It is now going to return that favor. It's only got 2 actions here. It can't move, and it's got acid burning at it. So it is just going to do its best to bite you. But it has to first, because you're concealed from it, even just attempt. Ooh, hello. Foundry, did you freeze for me? I hope not. There we go. Okay. Hooray. All right. It's got to attempt that.
Bite me. Do it. I dare you. Come on. Come on.
Wow. Well, you're learning on easy mode tonight, everybody.
Can it be like this every time we play? I really like
No.
this.
Right?
I'm gonna kill your characters.
Next time around, maybe not. Okay, so it first tries to bite you, but it totally fails to guess exactly where you are because of its vision being so messed up by this. It tries to strike you one more time. Again, just utterly fails. Thanks, Foundry. This is wonderful. Because it's stunned, it can only take those 2 bites. That's the end of its turn. And now it's going to take acid damage from the bomb that Fumbus hit with. So I think Fumbus, if you want, why don't you go ahead and roll me another d6? We're gonna pull that up again for damage. And okay, another 2 more points of acid damage. And then it's going to take what's called a flat check to end that condition of being burning with acid. He needs a 15 or higher on this to succeed.
Oh.
Does. Okay. So after that, the persistent acid damage goes away. The stunned condition will go away. The blinded condition just for 1 round, right, Ellen? Okay. Actually, we'll take that away.
One of them was for 1 minute. Hold on, let me just double check.
He's dazzled.
Dazzled for a minute. Okay, yeah. The other 2 were just for
All right. So we'll go ahead and take blinded away. Actually, I probably should have been rolling a much higher flat check. Chat, I'm sure you're calling me out on this, but we'll get there.
They're not. They're mostly impressed you rolled higher than a 10.
That's yeah. Thank you, chat.
It's a combination of both impressed and possibly lamenting it a little bit. Unclear.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, chat, they're usually out for blood, so they're probably just a little sad. Yeah. No, but we love you all. All right. So that is going to be its turn. We come back around to the top of the order. Charlotte, you're up again. What would you like to do? This thing is in sorry shape.
I was gonna ask how it's looking.
There was a
should we just
term
leave it
they
alone?
came-
Should we just? It was napping. Should we just?
No, it tried to
Should
bite
we
me.
just? You got in its face. Should we just leave it alone and go? We can just go.
I'm killing it. You can go if you want.
Fine. She'll pull out. She'll just walk up to it next to Benji with her dagger and just try and stab it.
Okay. Did you have a second dagger? You threw the first one.
I did throw the first one.
I got a question. I do technically have one on my belt. Could she grab my dagger and stab it?
If she's standing next to you, she totally could. But what kind of dagger is that, Benji?
I mean, I also have a short stabby thing that's longer
Yes,
than a
you
dagger. And a rapier. I have 2 other stabby options. I don't need yours, but it could be fun flavor.
I do have a clan dagger. I don't know. Is it different?
It's a dwarven weapon, and so it's specific to dwarves, and it's very much like the flavor of it in the world that they've created here is that this is like kind of like a family heirloom passed down. So Benji, it would kind of be up to you if like, do you trust other people to use this? Would be one question.
No, not at all. I know
Charlotte's pretty light-fingered.
problem.
If she uses this, you're not getting it back.
Yeah, no, not a chance. I would kill her for this dagger, or at least try to. I guess.
I'll use my short sword.
Excellent. Okay, so an action to draw.
Yes. So I will draw it, and I will stabby stab.
Awesome. All right.
Please, dear Lord, be better.
Okay. A 17, unfortunately, a 17 is not quite enough. It just, yeah, it just kind of steps a little bit out of the way of your stab.
I don't think I have any bonuses. Nope, I do not.
Not beyond that. Okay. All right.
And I'll just turn to Ben and be like, see, we should have just left it alone.
Here, if it's all right, I'm just going to move your token right up next to it.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right. So the next person, Destry, is up next. What would you like to do, Destry?
Well, since everybody's taking a chance at stabbing this thing, I guess I'll just go. So I'd like to use an action to move to the spider.
Yep.
And I will I will draw my rapier, I suppose, and do a stab with my rapier.
Yeah. Here, one sec. Before you do that stab, I'm just gonna fix something here really quick.
Fix it.
Yeah. Let's see. Just making a couple of quick fixes to your ability scores so they're maybe closer to where they might need to be.
Thank you.
That's all right. Yep. So you can go ahead and try that attack now. It should roll a little closer to what it should.
Okay. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's tasty. That's a tasty amount of extra that I get on this. Cool.
Oh no. That's very embarrassing.
May I color this?
You may.
Thank you. I would love so much as Destry steps forward to stab this. Trips on his own dagger that's in the dark on the ground near the spider. Occurs. There we go. Yeah. Yikes on bikes.
Yeah.
Yikes on bikes, Destry.
Both +7s to attack missed.
I was going to ask Rachel, you do, correct me if I'm wrong, do you still have your hero point or did you spend that earlier?
I do have my hero point, but I'm living in like, this is very funny. I would like to see how Destry's fine to be sacrificed. Let's punish him.
we shall see what happens then.
Poor sweet Destry.
If I missed a basically blinded spider, I think I might just die of shame. I don't know.
All right, it happens to all of us.
Benji has
how many
two
ones have I
rogues
rolled
on either
here?
side of him that are just death staring him right now.
I've never felt safer between two rogues my entire life. I'm watching this and I feel like I'm in more danger now when you're trying to attack that than I would be if you were attacking me.
Oh my, indeed. All right. Let's see. Sorry, Jarvis, it is your turn next. Go ahead. You've got your mage hand activated here.
You all can spend as much time as you would like next to that thing. I'll stay back here. As I kind of mentally order the mage hand to pour all of the oil all over this spider, particularly in its face area.
Okay, easy. You know? Hey, whoa.
Sure. Can you make me, mage hand normally isn't designed to be used for attack rolls, right? but you could. Why don't you make me an Arcana check? Let's see how well you do at guiding your mage hand in the midst of a combat, kind of swooping it through the area. Yeah. And to clarify, like last turn, I had not looked exactly at the mage hand spell description there. It should have given you the chance to like have the hand grab something and move it 20 feet. But we'll say that you got your oil flask there halfway, and it got the remaining distance here with one action at the start of this turn.
Okay,
making that dump of oil. Yeah. So go ahead and make me that Arcana check.
Here we go, everybody. It's a 16.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not a wizard.
No.
Let's keep that 16, and let's add your nature bonus because you're a primal caster, and nature is your main casting stat. That's my bad. I apologize.
Got it.
I just
Okay.
Caster magic.
Yeah, magic and stuff.
Yeah,
It's all
magic.
good. So I believe the roll was a 15. So if I add 7 to that 15, we get a 22.
22. Okay, I'm going to say 22 is a success at pouring oil onto this creature. So if you light it up, yeah, it could be lit up. So you have 2 actions remaining at this point. What would you like to do?
2 actions remaining. That is enough to cast another spell if I thought that was a good idea. I will actually I will have to be touching somebody for to touch somebody. That's unfortunate. I think I'm just going to
Kind of flex my glutes, and I'm like, come on.
Your glutes? Why your glutes?
He's behind me.
Why your glutes?
He's behind me.
Turn
Come on.
around.
Come touch me. Come on.
Actually, if I would movement also count, like the remaining of my like actual physical movement count as another action there?
Yeah, so if you were going to mage hand, stride, and then you have 1 action remaining. Yep.
Okay, I will do that, and I will prepare myself mentally to react potentially by casting. No, shield still requires 2 actions, so I think I'm just gonna have to stand tight and wait to cast magic weapon next turn.
The shield spell is 1 action if you would like to cast that. Yeah.
But what do I still need 1 action kind of to like as a reaction later, or does it just do I just get 1 in addition?
You always have 1 reaction every turn. Yep.
Okay, then I will cast shield just in case.
Yeah. So if something happens, a trigger for your, say, if the spider were to somehow get through all 3 of these this turn and try to bite you, your shield could be expended to absorb some of that damage. Yeah. Yep.
I will do that because I am very squishy.
You are. You're boldly striding forward. I love to see it. We GMs, we love it when they walk right up. All right, Fumbus. Fumbus, you just saw your elf friend dump oil on the spider.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna blow as Fumbus gets out of the cover and prepares one of his bombs that's already lit. Question: is there a way or an action I could do to make this creature easier to hit, such as making them flat-footed or something like that against this attack?
Yeah, you could attempt a feint action against it. Let's see. You could attempt a distraction with deception to try and take its attention away to something else. Let's see. What are your? Let me think about your trained skills here, really quick. What might make the most sense? You could use a hide action using stealth. You could roll stealth against the creature's perception DC. And if you succeed at that, you would be undetected by it, and you'd be flat-footed to it. Let me just see.
I like that.
Detect. Oh, Jason, you're delightful. When you're blinded,
I agree.
No, here it's because the word wasn't capitalized. When you're blinded, you can't detect anything using vision, and so things are flat-footed to you. So its AC would be a little lower to you already, while it's still blinded until the start of Elenwee's turn. So
Okay. So
no
need
additional
to-
actions required. Yep.
Okay, so then using that to my advantage and seeing Jarvis pouring on this oil on it, I'll be like, it's time to light this sucker up. Fire away! I want to move so I don't take any negatives up 25 feet, so I can at least be within the 20.
Yep, easily.
So I'll take a stride to go right over here.
Yeah, I would even give you a clear line of sight on that shot. Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes if your allies are between you and your target,
Mhm.
the target would get a little bit of cover from that. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. But seeing my bubble say, bombs awake! And throw it down and just use my quick bomber feat to prepare and throw a bomb. Specifically the Alchemist Fire.
All right.
All right, so let's do this. Now, do I have to add anything for the 5 foot? It's already going to be.
Nope. I take flat-footed into account on my end. For that.
Oh, excellent. All right. Let's see. Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, good news, bad news, right? Bad news, you don't directly hit it, and so you don't do the full damage. Good news, you hit it with splash damage, 1 point of fire, which then triggers the oil that is on top of it. So you're going to you'll do 1 point of damage, and then Jarvis, you can roll me a d6 for the burning damage that it's going to take from the oil as well.
Stop looking out.
Five.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. This spider is almost totally cooked. You guys are just doing an excellent job against it. Let's see. Fumbus, all you've done so far is run up and chuck a bomb. You've got 1 action remaining. What would you like to do with it?
I don't really want to roll another attack at a negative penalty, so I suppose I will take another, just in case. You never know what happens. I'm just gonna look around and say, "There's another stalagmite," and take the hide action and hide behind that.
Excellent. All right, so go ahead and attempt. You can just give me a stealth check, and then we'll see how that does against this thing. If it even gets a turn. I'm not sure. There's 3 of you between it and now, and it is very close to perishing. Yeah.
Alrighty. Stealth.
Sneaky goblin.
14.
Pretty sneaky. 14. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Elenwee is up next. What would you like to do?
I don't like spiders, and I just release another electric arc,
Awesome.
which does electricity, fire, and oil. Is there anything else fun in there, or is it just the same sort of?
Yeah. The oil has already been immolated
Okay, all right.
by the splash damage
That's
from
fine.
the.
That's fine. Yeah. So just that reflex saving throw
Yep.
would be
All
wonderful.
right. Here. We maybe. Oh, here we go. Yep. Boom. Trying that out.
Oh, it
16,
does
actually.
save.
Okay. Let's see. What's your spell DC?
It's 14.
How is it 14?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
does it? I
That
thought it was
doesn't make
17
sense.
before.
It should be 17.
Okay.
Here. So, yeah. Let me just double check what's going on. I'm not 100% sure there myself, but you're.
I mean, I'm happy for it to hit. That don't no argument from me.
Your DC is based on your level and your proficiency and your intelligence score, so it should be a 17, and so a 16 would actually fail. You can go ahead and roll damage on your electric arc.
And since it's only one creature, is it twice as much damage, or is it still 1d4 plus 1?
Still just 1d4. Yeah.
That's rude.
But
Okay.
1d4 plus 4. So
Oh, plus 4. So, okay. That's
Yep.
then 5. 5 points
Yep.
of damage.
points of damage. And
Um,
5 points of damage is enough to totally finish cooking, I should say. This giant pony-sized spider. You all handled that fantastically. So, wonderfully.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Encounter is over. All right. And so, as the cavern goes still, you can scrape off the webbing and think about what comes next. So, but before we do, a quick pulse around the table. How are we all doing? How's everybody feeling?
Feeling good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I wanted to check in with Zeki, because I know Zeki of all of us is the one that has the earliest mornings.
That is a true statement. And I know, I guess, GM, is this going to, I guess, be a continuous slog and crawl for the next
No.
foreseeable future? Or is this going to be a bit of like RP for a
Sure.
while?
So that is the question for the party. Do they want to continue their exploration of the caverns, or would they like to head back to town, report what they've found so far, take a breather, maybe come back down later and try it again? At that point, it's up to the party on what they would like to do next. I would offer that most of the beginner's box is designed to teach you a bunch of the various mechanics about what's coming up here in the game itself. So we could put a pause here and come back at another point if you all would like to do that.
I mean, I definitely want to finish the beginner box for sure.
Sure.
So I think if we, Zeki, was that you sort of saying yes, a pin in it now would be nice? Was that? Am I vibe checking you correctly?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Just,
okay.
just thinking about everything going on.
Yeah, so okay. In that case, then yes, let's we gotta drink water, redeem.
I drank all my water. Should I go get more water?
I'll eat a D20. Does that count?
No,
No.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, why don't we find another time to continue this specific beginner box? We can discuss that offline after this. In the meantime, there's a lot of stuff coming up this week. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. we have Vanessa from Paizo coming on to the stream. She is going to be teaching us how to port characters over from 5e into 2e. So we're going to be going specifically over my character and Rachel's character from the campaign that we were in, and figuring out how the fuck we would make them become Pathfinder characters, because right now they are very much built for D&D. Then at 7 o'clock, we have our talk back, which was just us chatting about the campaign session from the week before, which if any of you kiddos, except for you, Jason, I'm sorry, would like to join, you are more than welcome to. I guess, Jason, if you want to join,
if
you're
you
welcome
wanna
to
come
too.
hang
This is the boys' week, I think.
Yeah. So if any, specifically Omar, Alex, Zeki, I know you'll be there, would like to join, you're welcome. Then at 8 o'clock, we have the second part of our Labyrinth. It's a 5e session being run by one of our mods, who is wonderful. His name is Pablo. And I think this should be the second and final part of it. Tuesday is the campaign at 8 o'clock. Wednesday... This week is so insane. I can't even begin to tell you. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, Melinda, who some of you might know from TikTok as the one who sings sea shanties and has a beautiful voice, is going to be hanging out with me in person. We're going to be building Legos. We're just going to be chilling and chatting. At 8 o'clock, there's going to be another one-shot that is going to be in the same world as our campaign. And Alex will be a part of it as well, as will Zeki. Ben is DMing. And then Thursday is Chaos Ladies, which has been a sort of ongoing mini campaign in a different world than the main campaign. And that is also going to be at 8 o'clock. ET. Maybe it's in the same world. I don't know. Zeki just
Oh my
said,
God.
He's the DM.
Is it?
I don't
I would have to
know.
go
Zeki
watch so
sent
much
me-
to catch up on.
Zeki sent me this like huge thread last night, and I'm so excited for you guys. Like the Chaos Ladies, y'all are in for a great time.
I just really want the citizens of Mitra to have a contact in Mag just to sell them drugs. You know, like Mag is just there, like sell you weapons, sell you drugs.
Also, I lied. Tuesday's session is at 9. I said 8. There's a lot of things happening this week. I'm sorry. And I think that covers all the rest of the streams for this week. We'll talk. We'll see if Sunday maybe we end up doing an additional one of this next Sunday, but we'll talk offline. That'll get posted on Twitter and on our schedule and all that stuff. In the meantime, Jason, thank you so much. I'm assuming
Thank
most of
you.
the people in chat do follow
Thanks.
you, but if they don't, where can they find you?
Sure, the best place to find me is on Twitter with the Twitter handle What Do You Do Pods. I think I'm going to call on some of the folks there are even in games that I run, which is delightful to see them. So if anybody wants to type that out for folks, I don't have Twitch open to actually do it right now, but yeah, that's the easiest place to find me if you want to give a follow there and find some even more great Pathfinder and Starfinder podcasts. Thanks you all. And yeah, looking forward to continuing to get you all connected with the community. Yeah.
Does anyone have any suggestions on who we should raid?
I was gonna say really quickly, we got like a whole bunch of new folks that came in and like followed tonight. I'd just like to shout them out real quick. So we've got Sir Newt, we've got Corey Marie, we've got Jason, we've got Tectonomancer, we've got Severin Laureate, we've got the Lego Fan, we've got Worth, we've got Topper Harley, we've got North Hill, Lava Being, Mr. Blawface, Caloran, we've got Drinkwater, that's not a person, but that was a redeem. We've got Laura Non Sinragizzo, we've got a lot of the body, we've got Ms. Roy, sorry, we've got Project JKO, we've got Hijinks _ or we got Gemini? Gemini. I'm help. We've got an Imagined Stream, we've got Friend of Day, and we've got Nays Man 1. So hey, thank you guys. Also, like, in addition to just shouting you guys out for following chat, like, again, thank you so much for showing up and hanging out with us for almost 3 hours now and being an amazing resource. I know I'm not speaking for myself when I say that, like, the amount of like warmth that we have received from y'all is I would say that you guys are an amazing resource. Absolutely. Like truly, it's been incredible. You know, like coming into D&D, a lot of the time it can be very intimidating, and people aren't necessarily the most helpful to like newbies. And having y'all just be like, "Yeah, come join us, come play this like kick-ass game," and you know, showering us with like love and all sorts of advice has been incredible. So you guys are, thank you so much for hanging out and being here with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Completely agree.
Thanks.
Yeah, and Jason, like major thanks to you for like taking an hour and being like, sure, here's like my whole night now, and then coming and hang out with like you're phenomenal. Thank you so much. We really appreciate
Very
it.
happy to. Yeah, very happy to.
Jason, do you have anyone you want to raid?
I don't at the moment. I have no idea.
No, we just got raided!
Hello, new friends.
Did it.
We are
Well,
about to be
hi,
done.
everybody.
Oh
Well,
no!
Well,
Pathfinder.
Holy socks.
Let's just play on a tabletop.
Hey, hi, Raiders.
Hey, Raiders.
Hey, why don't you mark your calendars for tomorrow at 3 p.m. Come back here. We're gonna learn more We're gonna move characters from 5e to 2e.
Yeah.
And we have an official Paizo partnership, which is so friggin' cool. We have 3 streams tomorrow. I feel so silly that we got raided, and we're like, who should we raid? But
We should raid Roll for Felicity. I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
my friend Corey here is telling me that Dan Servo is on. If he's on there, he works.
Spell
Is Dan still with Sirenscape, Corey? I don't know if you remember that or not. He was was one of the communications folks at Paizo for a number of years, and just an awesome stand-up guy all around.
Yeah.
So.
It's like a good
Is
follow
it just
to,
Dan Servo? Is that the handle that we're rating?
girls. Let me.
Well, I'm gonna try it and see what happens.
Also, hey,
Yeah.
Gnome Sorcerer and Grandmaster Owl, thank you for
Oh,
following.
Dan_Servo. Yep.
Oh, well, shit, I'm rating someone else.
Well, there we
You can
go.
cancel.
So Stan, oh wait, I can cancel it. I can cancel
You
it.
can cancel.
Yeah,
We're so good at what we do here. Dan_Servo. SERVO. Okay. Whew.
Pretty sure. Yep, that's him.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone who was here with us. Thank you so much, everyone who showed up for the last 30 seconds. And hopefully we'll see at least a handful of you for one of the 3 streams tomorrow or one of the 9 streams this week. So, you know. Cool.
You might say amateurish.
You
around
might
here.
say that. You very
You
well
might.
might.
You should say amateurish.
All
Put
right, we're-
amateurish in your mouth. Use it for us. Right here?
That's
On
it.
that note, we're gonna go raid Dan. Thanks so much for
Bye.
swinging by.
Everybody.
Bye.
See you all later.